Are Bad at Games. We are continuing along, myself and Eric, with the story of Chaos Child. We finished a common route end, and have started down the road, getting to the true end. And our first pit stop was Arimura Hinae. And we're picking back up with that tonight. We started the chapter last night, learning a little bit more about her. And what are your thoughts about what we saw last night, Eric?
This ending's a lot more cutesy, which I guess is fitting. It's sort of the theme of Armor as a character. It's her whole shtick. It's while also being very sad in the background.
Yes, we learned a little bit more about her family. How her brother died, the reason why she got her ability when she made the wish, and why she's good at, and why she can tell people who's lying and whatnot. There's some kind of intrigue going on in the background. Somebody pushed her down the stairs recently.
Yeah, and, that's clearly Sarah.
Yeah, we shall.
Said she was there and saw that they were dating or whatever.
Yeah,
could be. Hundo.
Yeah,
gotta be. Right? I mean, I don't know.
Makes sense.
Maybe
it sounds like something Sarah would do. She has shown the tenacity
but
of doing things like that.
It would be weird because she was game.
But she's the obvious choice, right?
Yeah, that's what I was she's clearly being set up as the person we're supposed to think. At this point, now that we've played through the other ending, right? I feel like I'm supposed to think that Sarika is.
Yeah, you can't help but be suspicious of her.
Stairs. Yeah. But she was very gung ho for getting Takaru.
That's true. That's also true.
What Taku wants, Taku gets. So maybe that's good. I don't know. Yeah, it is. I'm curious. It could be a setup for it's really his dad or something.
His dad pushed.
Because that.
Yeah, let's find out.
Yeah, the girl he likes. That actually probably makes sense. I think that's probably my bet for now. We'll see what happens.
Right, well, let's jump back into it. Let's see, load, and we are this one.
I didn't think to ask, but oh no. Maybe we did talk about not knowing exactly how much further it goes on this this ending. Does it go all the way to the same number of chapters?
No. It's just one chapter. But I think the girl, the specific girl chapters, because I mean it's only one chapter, and they give them some. Yeah, they give them some length to them. October 26, 2015, Monday.
Hey, did you hear?
I did. It's a girl from Class D, right?
I was in her class in my first year, and
the whole school was talking about a new incident that had taken place. As you all know, there's been a new incident. And the victim was a second-year student at Hekio Academy. It was a girl from our school.
Oh, shit.
Because of that, we had an emergency assembly this morning. School staff was busy dealing with the second big incident after the Watabi case, and most classes were study halls. They should have just made it a half day, but since the media were outside, they kept us until the full day was over. It was only after school that we were able to have our meeting. Here's what we knew about the case. Oh yeah, and there was the middle-aged man apparently died too.
I'm confused. Who died? Wait, what?
Remember?
That's what I was. Yeah, I don't remember.
So near the end of last night, we went to go see Kunasada about a new murder that had taken place, and to get details.
Oh right,
and it was a guy. It was a man between 30s and his 50s. It didn't fit the profile, basically.
He wasn't, or shouldn't have been a Gigolo man.
Yeah, and it was on the 22nd, the day before. This is the day of.
Yeah, it wasn't on the pattern. Gotcha. Okay.
Here's what we knew about the case. According to the police announcement, the murder took place sometime after 11 p.m. last night. Shibuya was always pretty busy even at that hour, but the area where the murder took place was isolated and at times could almost be empty. The cause of death was blood loss. The victim had been stabbed multiple times with a sharp blade, and the area around her was said to be a sea of blood. What's your take on this? Like always, Ito was the first to answer.
You mean, do we think it's part of the return of New Gen murders? Is that what it was? Return of New Gen?
Return of New Gen. in this? I think. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah. I thought it was return 2 for some. That's wrong, though. That's got to be wrong. Anyway.
That or any other thoughts you have?
If you're asking whether it's related, it clearly isn't. Why do you think so?
Why do you not think so, Serica?
Because it's the wrong day, for one thing, and the method is too ordinary. It's not bizarre at all. Just like stabbed a bunch of times. Everybody does that.
Kazuki was actually involved in this conversation for once. Not in agreement, but Kurusu shook her head.
What are you talking about? Stabbing someone multiple times with a knife is plenty bizarre. No, that's true. I mean more like what they were going for with it. Like the whole atmosphere of the thing. Basically, there's nothing that weird about it. True. It's a lot different than eating your own hand or cutting open your stomach and putting it.
Yeah, who would come up with ideas like that?
Yeah, those are true chaos nonsense. Right. So I don't think that it has anything to do with it.
Evidently, everyone agreed with Ito's opinion.
Hey, Cheryl, what do you think?
I mean, I feel the same as you do. Unfortunately, it's probably not related to the other murders.
Hey, Takaru, what do you mean, unfortunately?
Crap, I accidentally said what I was thinking. You speaking me around Arimura.
I mean, if it's just a random violent killing, is that better? Like unrelated to the, event that was going on before? I don't know if that's like a better thing. Anyway. Listen to me. Someone tried to kill you. You might have ended up just like that victim whose death you are enjoying oh so much. Do you understand that?
You. Go again.
And what's more, the victim this time was a student at our school. A fellow student is dead. This isn't the time to try and entertain yourself.
You don't have to keep telling me this. I get it. Why is Kurusu here at the newspaper club when a student from our school is dead anyway?
This is like right up your guys' alley. Our job right now is to write an article telling all the students at the school to be careful. That's what the students asked the newspaper club to do. That's why we're having this meeting. Don't forget that.
I know that.
And?
Oh, this is Karawara. This is the vice.
You have him.
Student Council President Kurusu-san, please come to the Student Council room immediately. I repeat, Student Council President Kurusu-san. See, they're calling you.
All right, I'll be back later. Don't forget what I said, though.
Kurusu nagged me one more time before she ran out of the room.
It was nice of Non-chan to come by when she was so busy, huh? It just shows how little she trusts you. Wait, or maybe it shows how much she trusts you? Which is it?
Doesn't matter. Let's get back on topic. Thanks to Kurusu's interruptions, I forgot how much we've already covered. Right. The victim was a second-year student here. Arimura Hinae. Did either of you know her? I didn't realize Arimura was here. I taught her a few times.
I did not either. It's like, oh god.
She didn't come to school a lot.
I didn't really know her. The kids in class said that she'd skip school to go mess around a lot.
Since the murders had taken place past 11 p.m., it wasn't hard to imagine. But it's kind of scary. The place where it happened is near a route I usually take. I used to go home from school. Yes? Yeah, remember where I got pushed down the stairs? It's near there. So it's kind of creepy, you know? Somebody had tried to push Arimura down the stairs. Given that it was near the scene of the murder, maybe it was some sicko trying to kill little girls.
Well, it's got nothing to do with the others. I hate to say this, but it might just, or it might have just been some girl out late who got stabbed by some pervert, or maybe she got into a fight with a lover. Huh? That's no way. She was in high school, right? She had a lover's quarrel. That means that a boy and a girl, right? What? Oh, okay. I'm like slowly, like,
Yeah.
I think that was a sex, like the mumble was sex. I was like, I don't.
She's still putting on the act, is what she's doing.
Yeah. I'm a dunce, is the problem. Okay. How naive are you? High school students can have lovers' quarrels. Can they? Do they? Do they quarrel? Tell me, Taku.
Oh, they're not kids anymore, so maybe they do.
I see. Do you have any quarrels, Hana-chan?
She frantically denied it. Yeah, like that was ever going to happen to Kazuki. Anyway, we're getting off track.
Still, it's not pleasant hearing that someone from your school got murdered.
Not pleasant.
Generally not.
Student from my school. In that sense, this victim was one who had been closest. This victim was the one who had been closest to us. Just what could that mean? It's getting late. Yeah. Come to think of it, it's almost November. Is the Restoration Festival next week? Yeah. Even if this case and the last one had nothing to do with the other murders, I was starting to think that maybe that didn't mean that the return of New Gen was over. At first, I believed that Hidoriko was responsible for all of them. No, rather, I'd only been convinced of that because of the terror I felt after being attacked. But after I calmed down, it felt like there were things I couldn't explain if she was doing this on her own. And there was that underground lab, too. An organization big enough to make something like that lab was involved, Hidoriko might have just been the tip of the iceberg. Unfortunately, the police hadn't gotten any useful information out of her, so there was no way of knowing if she was connected to something bigger or not. Even if she was responsible, we didn't know why she committed her murders on the same day and days as New Gen Madness. Was it some kind of message? Was it to make it more sensational? Either way, if there was something bigger behind her, we'd already been a target once. Maybe we couldn't relax just yet. Come on. Huh? Suddenly, someone grabbed both my cheeks, bringing me back to my senses. I've been talking to you for a while now, and you haven't been listening. Oh, sorry. What were we talking about? We were talking about going to the festival together. Oh, right. Yeah, I see. Sure. Please, it's a promise, okay? I let go of my cheeks and then gently rub them. I'm kind of embarrassed.
Face, right?
Anyway, my house is that way. Oh, do you want me to walk you home? There was that murder yesterday, after all. And there was also the thing with the stairs before that. Of course, I was a little scared too, but as a man, it was time to show off. No, it's fine. I'll just stick to the busy roads. But... Suddenly, Arimura leaned in and I felt something soft on my cheek. By the time I realized it was her lips, she already pulled away. Adios, gracias!
Goober.
You're a normie now, Miyashiro. Before I could say something, she smiled, said her goodbye, and vanished into the crowd. I was suddenly overcome by the idea that she was going to vanish forever. I drove the unpleasant thought from my head and headed for home, feeling just a little excited. I could still feel a soft warmth on my cheek. October 26th, 2015, Monday. Just like she promised Takaru, Arimura Hinae stuck to the busy roads on our way back. He remembered Takaru's face when they said goodbye. He was probably scared himself, but he was holding it in and pretending to be brave. Anybody could see that he was just putting on an act. He was easy to figure out, and that made Hinae feel at peace. Everybody was hiding their true feelings, their truth, deep within their heart. There was nothing true in this world at all. That's what she thought that day. Never tell a lie. Her brother had been the one who taught her that, but even he didn't tell her what was really important. He didn't tell her the truth. So where was the truth? That was a question she'd been grappling with for the last 6 years. Well, a friend she had made just recently had asked her if she wanted to see her brother. Hinae almost never talked about herself, but she'd been talking about her family. And then her friend had asked her. She didn't know why, but the question had surprised her and she nodded yes. She didn't hate her brother for lying to her. And even if she did, he was gone. Because on that day, she let him die. She left him to die. Well, I mean, what was she going to do?
Yeah.
So instead, she felt guilty toward him. If she ever had the chance to meet him again, she wished to apologize to him.
I couldn't hold your breath.
The crosswalk sign turned red, and Hinae stopped walking. Even at night, Shibuya was crawling with people. With this many people around, she figured it wouldn't be easy for someone to attack her. As soon as the traffic light turned green, the car started to move. And then...
boom.
Ah!
Hit by a car.
Someone pushed her hard, and she staggered out onto the street. The headlights were bearing down on her before she even had time to think.
Holy shit.
When she finally opened her eyes, the car bumper was just a few centimeters from her face.
Hey, are you okay? What are you doing? That's dangerous.
The people waiting for the light started to make a fuss. The sound of a dozen car horns echoed off the sides of the buildings. But Hinae didn't hear any of that. She was only looking at one thing. It was the place she'd been standing a moment ago. Just before she'd almost been hit, she looked up.
Oh.
And saw him.
Oh. Holy shit.
Oh. It was her dead brother, Bingo.
Huh.
What? I looked at the clock and it was past 3 a.m. I started looking around to see if there was any new information on the case. And the next thing I knew, it was really late. What's up?
I'm trying to think how that works. Because he looked like he was not going to survive, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
I wonder...
unless there's ghosts, which I don't think they've established ghosts. I don't know. That old lady that was with Yuki could reboot other people's delusions.
Something like that. I think that was Uki's powers. Uki's powers could bring...
Was that Uki's powers? I thought that was the other ladies. I don't remember what the old lady was.
I know she rebooted the sumo stickers, but I don't know if that's all she could do. I can't remember.
That's what she was. She was obsessed with that.
The sumo stickers.
You're right. That was Uki's powers. Okay.
Started looking around to see if there's any new information on the case, and the next thing I knew, it was really late. But I didn't end up finding anything new, and as I read, I ended up focusing on something else. There was an article about how a company called SafeWorks that was involved in a restoration festival has put up security cameras all over town, and was then subject to a lawsuit. The situation had gotten pretty complicated, and by the time I finished reading, it was really late. Time for bed, I guess. It wasn't true that caffeine stopped you from getting sleepy. I always drink caffeine before bed, yet I was always able to sleep easily. Preach. But when I opened my fridge to get my
sleep as well.
When I opened my fridge to get my late night Mountain Dew, I realized I had a big problem. I was fucking out.
No.
I'd forgotten that I drank my last bottle the day before. Truly, this is the worst universe. Fine. Guess I'll just have to do without. Or so I thought.
Get to the beta world line.
Once you found out that you couldn't drink something you wanted to drink, it became an obsession. That's just human nature. Caffeine was addictive. Maybe I was undergoing withdrawal. But the convenience store I had to go to in order to get the Mountain View was a bit of a walk from here, and I'm kind of lazy, so damn it. In the end, however, I couldn't defeat my own desires. I went out into the city late at night to get my Mountain View.
So I have to have buckets of coffee. Thank you very much.
After I succeeded in purchasing several bottles of Mountain View, I took one and opened it as I stood outside on the sidewalk.
Yes.
Refreshing. My body felt like it had been purified.
Purified.
Just as I thought that now I'd be able to sleep, I suddenly remembered all the murders that had happened so far. I suddenly felt afraid of the situation I'd foolishly put myself in. I was in Shibuya in the middle of the night, in a place that was almost empty at this hour.
Getting murdered over a Mountain View.
Sudden fear gripped me as I started to run, only to trip on something. Evidently, I had run into a trash can. Ow! What's that doing here? I don't remember there being a trash can here. I felt a dull pain where my body had hit the ground. I hadn't been holding the bottle tightly, so the cap of my Mountain View had fallen off, and the bottle was leaking, and I was really pissed off that I just wasted like $3.29.
And all the other ones are all shook up now. It's never going to taste the same.
Be flat. I sat up and stretched out my hand to grab the bottle, only to touch something else. What is this? It wasn't a plastic bottle. Softer. Like clay. I slowly raised my head to look. Ah! What I saw made me gasp. It wasn't a trash can, but a laundry basket with wheels. At first, I thought the thing that fell out of it was from inside of a mannequin or something. It was strangely cold and a little black. But the soft feeling against my skin and the way its eyes were open told me that it was no mannequin. It was... a body. Ah! Damn it, Cheryl. You're always getting yourself in some weird, fucked up situations.
Almost like it's following him. So, in this case, point P. Hey, do you know what time? Oh, Mishiro, sit down.
Hey, Mishiro.
Hey. Oh, that's a different one. I know. Again? Isn't that crazy? Even if it's just a coincidence. Quiet. I'm continuing with the lesson. Talk you ahead. Hey, tell me what happened yesterday. Keep stumbling on bodies. What's that about?
After I found the body in the alleyway this morning, I called the police. By the time they were done questioning me, it was almost lunchtime. I hadn't even got a wink of sleep thanks to that.
Oh, no. And you still went to school?
Yeah,
Fuck that noise.
For real.
I'm taking the day.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like, questioned by police regarding the dead body I found.
Yeah, I think that takes precedence. I think I earned a little day off.
Hey, that's a... Yeah.
I was feeling so tense that it didn't matter.
Day.
The whole school had heard about how I found the body, and I could hear people talking about it as I passed them by. I can understand why. This was the third body I've been the first person to discover. Like, people are starting to talk.
Yeah. I would accuse him of being a murderer.
I might have been the only person in the whole world to discover 3 bodies in just 1 month.
That didn't work for the cops? I mean...
At this point, the police were less surprised than they were annoyed. Just so we're clear, I wasn't out looking for it. I was out getting my Mountain View.
I needed my view fixed.
Caruso had come to see me too, along with Ito and Serica. I made sure she understood the real story.
I know that. But why does this keep happening to you?
He says as she apparently side-eyes Serica.
Yeah, like staring down Serica, like, you motherfucker. Really? It's like dead bodies just love you. Ito-kun, remember what I said? It's inappropriate to say things like that when someone has just
I can't believe I have to tell you this.
Right. Time and time again, I keep explaining to you. Jokes about dead people. Oh, right. Sorry. Compassion, empathy. Got it. But now you're famous, Taku.
Yeah. I don't want the fame, though, Serica. I didn't actually do anything.
Isn't that better? That's free fame.
Right.
That's right. And nothing good will come of being famous like this.
I said was Hawk to a spit on that thing.
Good God in heaven. Well, that's true, but... So, who's the victim?
I don't know yet, supposedly. The police had said there was nothing on the body that can help them ID it. All they knew that it was a man in his mid-40s.
Well, that doesn't work. I see. Which means it's got nothing to do with the others.
Maybe. This case was the one most similar to the return of New Gen Madness. But given the victim's age and the date of the murder, it was hard to say if it was related. It was too early to say for sure, though.
So, how was it?
How was what? Finding a dead body? It was fucking horrifying, Ito.
Right.
How was what?
The body. From what I read online, they were brutally stabbed a bunch of times.
It was dark. I couldn't say for sure, but when I touched it, the body felt like it'd been dead for a while.
Psychopath.
Yeah.
That is why Karusu has to keep reminding him. Can't make jokes about dead people. You touched it, Taku.
I mean, I just happened to do it. I tripped, and then the next thing I know, my hand was on it.
Seriously? So what did it feel like?
It felt like a dead body, Ito.
You friggin' weirdo.
Like rubber. It was firmer and more elastic than I thought it would be.
Gross. Come on, you two. Enough. I don't want to hear that.
If you don't want to hear it, you can just go somewhere else, right?
Well, I mean,
or maybe you actually do want to know.
Of course not.
Kept talking with Karusu for a moment before someone came over the door. Arimura? Ishiro-senpai. Arimura looked really tired. What
brings you here? Did you come to ask about the murder too?
The murder?
Oh, you didn't know? Hina-chan, Taku found another body. Man, I don't know if you can hear it, but the radiators are making so much noise in my building.
It's barely coming through.
Okay, wild. They're very loud.
From the looks of things, she really didn't know. Given how many friends she had, that was a little surprising. And the way the rest of the
There's a sudden boom. You guys know what happened.
Sarah could have found you.
Yeah, that's right. God damn it. This is for calling her out in the first stream.
And the way the rest of the school have been talking about it, she should have at least heard something.
Arimura-san, what's wrong? You seem kind of down.
Well...
Is it something you don't want to talk to us about?
No, that's not it. Then what happened? Arimura still seemed like she didn't want to talk, but eventually she slowly began to speak. Actually, someone attacked me yesterday.
Damn.
Attacked you.
Seriously? You mean they tried to kill you? Are you alright?
Everyone started to ask questions. Was it after we said goodbye yesterday? That's right. It was right after the scramble crossing.
In a place with that many people around?
The crosswalk sign had turned red, and then I suddenly felt someone push me from behind. Pushed from behind? That was the same as what happened before, which meant that it wasn't her imagination. Someone had really pushed her.
Well, you hurt?
I was almost run over, but I was alright. The only injury I got was a little scrape.
Did you tell the police?
Not yet.
Why? Why didn't you tell them?
Because...
They will think I'm nuts.
We felt silent, as if it was hard to say. Someone had pushed her out into the street, and in a busy intersection. She was lucky to survive. She could have easily been killed. And since it happened twice in a row, it was obviously an attempt on her life. But she hadn't gone to the police. Was there something she couldn't tell them about?
Anyway, you should go to tell the police. I'll go with you if you want.
You know me. Fuck the popo, man.
For real, though.
Oh, no.
Fuck the police. Arimura-san.
Well, actually... Before she could say something, the door to the classroom opened. Did someone call the police?
Hello?
It was Detective Sinjo. The whole classroom started to murmur at the sight of the strange man.
Oh, please, calm down. I'm no one suspicious.
He looked around the classroom until he found us, and then walked straight over.
Hello, children. So, here you are.
Was there something else?
No, I'm not here for Miyashiro-kun. I'm here for you. Can you come with us?
Senjo-san was looking direction of me? Arimura.
You didn't need to come too, Miyashiro-kun.
Senjo-san said as soon as we entered the room. That was what Arimura had wanted. She wanted me to be with her when she went to the police.
Are you two? No, never mind. It doesn't matter now.
Senjo-san seemed like he wanted to say something. All the two of us, but now wasn't the time.
Well, whatever. You can stay. Since you were the first to find the body, you'll hear about it eventually. I'll make it quick. Arimura Hinae-san, I want you to come to the police station immediately.
To the police station?
That's right.
Why?
I want you to calm down before I tell you this. You're aware that a body was found this morning in a Shibuya back alley, correct?
Yes. Miyashiro-senpai said...
That's right. The one he found. We identified the body.
It can't be.
The victim was Arimura Koichiro, your father. Bum, bum, bum.
Senjo-san took Arimura to the police station. Back. Waited for her to get in touch with me, but not only did I not get a call, I didn't even get a text message. Of course, her father was dead and he'd been horribly murdered. I understand why. Not to mention, no idea that the body was Arimura's father. Of course, I had no way of knowing. But even if I couldn't help it, I still felt ashamed of having been so excited. I didn't. Arimura's dad was dead. I never met him, but he was the closest I'd been. He was the closest I'd been to any of the murder victims. And yesterday was the same day Arimura said she'd been attacked. What was going on? She the next target? If so, then who would... Remember what Arimura had said this afternoon as she left the room with Senjo-san.
Anyway, that's how it is. I'm sure it's not easy, but I need to ask you some questions. And I'd like you to ID the body for me too, if you can. Can you do that?
Yes.
Brutal. All right. I'll have a car stopped out front. Oh, I have one. Please come with me.
Arimura. Sir. Huh? It was my brother who did it. Arimura?
Sorry, what?
Brother? I'd heard her say it clearly. Brother was the killer? What did she mean? I heard that her brother died during the Shibuya earthquake. Or did she mean another brother? Maybe he was actually alive the whole time? The more I thought about it, the more confused I got. Eventually, I just fell into a restless. 4 days had passed since Arimura's father was murdered. There had been no new developments in the case. All we learned was that he'd been killed somewhere else and that his body had been dumped there. Senjo-san wouldn't tell me any more than that, and neither would Kunosada-san. Arimura hadn't been back to school since then. I tried to contact her several times, but she never responded. Her father was dead. It was easy to assume she must be depressed, but still, words she said to me. Brother who did it. Couldn't get them out of my mind. What on earth was she talking about? For the last 4 days, I'd been feeling kind of weird. Arimura had said she was attacked by someone at Scramble Crossing, and that was the same night I'd found her father's corpse. Several other things had happened too. Arimura had almost been pushed down the stairs. Second-year student Hekio had been killed. The student's name was Shitamoe. She hadn't come to school often and was something of a problem child. From the photo I seen, she was a young girl with huge twin tails. Why she'd been killed? And what did she have to do with the return of New Gen Madness? There was also the headless body that had been burned to death. I still didn't know who it belonged to. I didn't know if it had anything to do with the other murders, but it still felt like something awful was creeping up on us. I looked at my phone. Still no word from Arimura. Maybe I'll call her again. I started to put her number out of my call history. Maybe don't have her saved. There was a loud knock on my door.
I get that.
Well, what's going on? was almost 11 at night. Who could be coming here at this hour? Is it... No. Go away! Go away! No one's home! Go away! Shit. There has to be some way for me to fight back.
Right. Get a peephole.
My power. I have my power. No good. Damn it. He told me not to use it, and so I didn't. But if I knew this was going to happen, I would have practiced using it more. Knocking at the door grew even louder. Please. And I heard a voice. Please. Huh? That voice.
It's Arimura.
Arimura? I quickly went to the door and looked outside and saw Arimura frantically pounding on the door with tears in her eyes. I quickly opened it and let her in. Senpai. Something was wrong with her. She clung to me as she shook violently. What's wrong, Arimura? He's chasing me. Chasing you? You mean you were attacked again? Nodded over and over. But then who in the world? My brother.
Wild.
Really was your brother? It was. I'm sure of it. Started giving her something to drink to calm her down, and not a Mountain View. I heard she was...
Obviously, that's the only option. It's either that or water. I don't even know if he has like a... There's a sink.
There's a sink. I see a toothbrush.
Water. Right.
And heard what and heard what she had to say, and she told me that she knew for a fact it was him. Her family's condo had been destroyed in the Shibuya earthquake, so now they lived in Kanagawa. Her father's autopsy had only been completed yesterday, and then she'd gone back there. The funeral was today, and afterwards she'd come back to Shibuya with her aunt and uncle. The police had asked her to come back down to the station one more time, where they questioned her about her father's relationships. On the way back home, she felt someone's gaze following her. And when she got near a construction site, some of the building materials had gotten loose and fallen down on top of her. She'd been watching her surroundings carefully after all that had happened, and just barely saw them in time to get out of the way. But when she looked up, she had seen him. It was her brother, Arimura Shingo. That's why I'm sure he was the one who killed Dad, too. But, he died, right? In the earthquake? He told me. But he's alive! He's alive and trying to get revenge! Revenge? Why would he want revenge on you? Because it was my fault that he died. Arimura then told me that she had been outside during the earthquake. Her brother hadn't realized she was gone, and he'd entered the condo building to save her, only to die when it collapsed. It was clear to see that Arimura blamed herself for that. But that doesn't make sense. What do you mean? If that was
whole
true,
thing you just said.
Then why would he kill your dad? Because Dad betrayed his family. Arimura didn't tell me how he betrayed his family. I didn't know what had happened. But that didn't change the fact that what she was saying didn't make sense. Even if he's alive, why does he want to get revenge on you? If he survived, he doesn't need revenge, and you said he really loved you, right? So why would he start hating you? But I saw him. That was my brother.
Almost as if.
Why? No matter how much she tried to persuade her otherwise, Arimura kept insisting that what she had seen was her brother. Was it really him that she saw? Even if it was someone who looked just like her brother, that still didn't explain why they were attacking her. Let alone why they killed her father. Oh, that's right. I need to apologize. Apologize for what? I didn't know it was your dad, but I still got... I'm sorry. It's fine. Doesn't bother me. Felt like she wasn't just trying to make me feel better. Really meant it. And what's more, I don't really know if I'm sad that he died or not. So strange. I just don't know. Dad lied to us for years. I don't think I ever forgave him for that. So part of me thinks that he got what he deserved. Even so, I don't think he had to die like that. Since she didn't tell me, I way of knowing what her father had told. But I can imagine that whatever it was, it had left a big impression on her. If nothing else, it was enough to affect her power as a gigalomaniac. I went outside and stretched, and I could feel all the bones in my body popping. It was still just past 8 a.m. Even at this hour, I could hear people playing basketball at the nearby court. Arimura ended up sleeping in my bed. For all that had happened, she was mentally exhausted. Even for me, it didn't feel right to wake her up and send her home. and she'd just been through such a scare. That's why I decided to let her sleep here. That's also why I ended up trying to sleep on the tiny hard floor and mostly failed at it. My back was killing me. I decided to go wash my face at a nearby fountain when the phone in my pocket began to vibrate. Phone call? It was from Kunisada-san. Why are you calling this early? Did you learn something? That's a rather rude greeting. I would have reacted the same way to anybody else calling at this hour. I was planning to tell you the police's take on the recent murders since Sinjo had given it to me, but if you don't need it, well then never mind. No, wait, I didn't say I didn't need it. I could tell that she wasn't joking. She really was about to hang up the phone. I quickly tried to stop her. Please tell me what you've learned, please. Fine, then. But let's start with the murders modeled after the new Gen case. She meant the first 4 murders, up until Watabi's death. They seem to think that there are several things that can't be explained if it was just Haruko acting on her own. In other words, she had someone working with her? Or perhaps she was only responsible for the arson cases and had nothing to do with the murders. Which was truth. If that was true, it would mean that there were multiple people involved and the real killer still hadn't been caught. Maybe whatever organization that built that lab in the basement was responsible, which meant that Arimura and I still weren't safe. That made sense, considering that Arimura had already said she'd been attacked. However, also, you should know that you two are suspects. Huh? You don't mean me and Arimura, do you? Didn't you hear me? I said you two. Who else would it be? Why would they suspect us? Kakita, Watabi, and now this third case. The police are thinking it's too much to be a coincidence. You are finding a lot of dead bodies, Miyashiro.
You find a lot of dead bodies.
But I thought we weren't considered suspects for the murders that had happened so far.
Well, yeah.
For those murders,
you found more bodies.
But the other ones are a different matter. You know the victim from the other day, the second-year student from Hekio? Moi, I heard she didn't come to school often. That's right, but the girl was supposedly a big fan of Arimura Hinae. Arimura? According to Kunisada-san, who was getting her information from Sinjo-san, of course, Itamoi had been a very quiet student in middle school who hadn't really stood out. At school, she would mostly sit in the corner and read books. Arimura's name had shown up in her diary. Arimura was always cheerful and friends with everybody. Arimura had spoken to Moe, too, and that had evidently made her very happy. After that, Moe had decided that she wanted to be like Arimura. Copied Arimura's hairstyle and started going downtown, where eventually she fell in with a bad crowd and stopped coming to school. And that's not Arimura's fault. The detective's job is to look for connections, no matter how small they might be, and, well, part of the reason is due to Arimura's actions as well. Arimura's actions? During questioning yesterday, she said that her brother was alive and trying to kill her. I mean, the same thing.
Yeah, but crazy doesn't mean guilty.
They seem to think that that's evidence of mental instability, and that it might have had some bearing on the case. Of course she is. After all that's happened, of course she's gonna feel on the edge.
We know that people can be psychic.
Several of the victims had already been related to her. Of course, the police had noticed that too. So, what's your take on Arimura Hinae? Looks like she's really stressed out. I see. Well, keep an eye on her. What's wrong? You really, Kunisada-san?
Huh?
What do you mean? I mean, I can't believe the real Kunisada-san would honestly be worried about us. You're lucky we're on the phone, otherwise I'd beat the shit out of you for saying that.
Got him.
Never mind, it was really Kunisada-san. Anyway, let's keep a close eye on Arimura Hinae's activities. There's no telling what someone will do when they panic.
That's exciting.
That was all Kunisada-san said before she hung up. Ida Hiranori, Itamoe, and Arimura's dad. In the sense that she was the first to find the body, there was also Watabi. It's true that it's true that too many of the victims were related to Arimura. Maybe it's natural for the police to suspect her. Senpai? Oh, you must have woken up. Arimura smiled in relief and ran over to me. You weren't there when I woke up, so I wondered where you went. Arimura still didn't look great, but she seemed to have calmed down since yesterday. I'm sorry. I fell asleep without realizing it. No, it's fine. Just, what are you going to do now? I'm going home.
My aunt and uncle are probably worried about me. I didn't tell them where I was going.
I
see. I'll walk you part
Are
of the
you
way.
fucking kidding me?
Even if she calmed down, I didn't feel safe sending her back home. She must have felt the same way because she just nodded. Anyway, I hate Sundays. There are so many people around. Yeah. Hey, did you know a while ago Ito... I tried to keep up as much meaningless small talk as I could while we headed towards Arimura's home. Even with all the murders, it was still the weekend, and there was only a week to go until the festival. As such, the whole town was in a state of excitement. I was very grateful to have the atmosphere around us to distract us. In fact, it was even helping Arimura gradually start to smile again. Did Ito-senpai really do that? Sometimes I really don't understand that. Okay, senpai, I can go the rest of the way on... Suddenly Arimura froze. Hey, bro. Huh? I quickly spun around, but I didn't see anyone. Arimura? Oh, big bro. Calm down, Arimura. He's not there. I grabbed her by the shoulders and I could feel that she was shaking. But he's right there. Pointing at the mannequin in the store window. There was nothing else there. Just go home. I'll get the rest of the way.
It's losing it. November 2nd, 2015, Monday.
Like winding her up.
Hey.
You know, that sounds like mind control to me.
Arimura came to school and... Ciao! Sorry, guys! Back to normal.
Morning. Oh, good morning. Hi.
Hi. I'm glad to see you guys are getting along so well. Maybe I'll quit the lit club and join the newspaper club.
What are you talking about? You're basically a member already, right, Taku?
Yeah, he's right. Really? Alright, maybe I will join. Wait, are you allowed to be in 2 clubs?
Of course. Just fill out the paperwork and it's fine.
I see.
Well, if you do join, that gives you an excuse to be with me and Shiro.
We're not really...
Oh, come on. Oh, whoops. Wrong. Shit. Oh, come on. No blushing.
No blushing.
Yeah, I get myself tangled up in this sometimes. Hey, you don't get to say that.
I hadn't seen Arimura this chipper in a while. Sure, it felt a little forced, but it was still a good sign, right? Oh, right. Did you hear they're adding a chocolate bar to Hikaruo?
Oh, a chocolate bar? You mean the one where if you get to winning bar, you get another one?
Wrong. That's Chocobots.
A chocolate bar is like a restaurant, right? Where you can eat in?
Yeah, that's it. Once it opens, we can all... And she stopped. I had a bad feeling about this.
Hina-chan?
No. Rose. No!
Ruh-roh.
Arimura. I quickly grabbed her before she could fall over.
Hey, what's wrong? She passed out. Takaru, take her to the nurse's office immediately.
Yeah. Picked her up. I glanced in the direction she'd been looking.
Hey, what happened?
Arahara-kun was... He happened to be passing by and was looking at us in surprise. There was no one else around.
Taku, what did they say about Hina-chan?
Said she's just a little tired. Her rest.
I see.
Knew what had happened. He'd seen him again. Maybe she'd mistaken Karahara-kun for her brother.
Takaru, did something happen with Arimura-san?
What do you mean?
She seemed to be acting a little strange. Yeah, I thought so too. She seemed to be forcing herself more than she usually does. Seriously? I had no idea.
Good idea to tell them. Kazuki, stop playing Elder Scrolls. Came over to concern and look on her face. What is it, Kazuki? Are you worried too? I told them everything that had happened to Arimura over the past few days. She said her brother was still alive. He was trying to get revenge on her.
Hey.
It was Serica who spoke first.
Is Hina-chan's brother really alive? No, ILD was dead. But she only thinks he is, right?
Well, but what I do know is that all these murders keep happening around her. Since there was no doubt that they were homicides, that meant there had to be some murderer targeting her for some.
I think that maybe we should look into her brother some more. But how do we do that? He died in the earthquake, right? That means...
I went with Karusu's suggestion and visited the earthquake memorial with Serica. The memorial bore the names of everyone who died in the earthquake. I was worried about Arimura, but Karusu said that she'd take her home. It was probably safe to let her handle it.
Well, Toku?
Wait a second. Pretty sure. His name was supposedly Arimura Shingo. Looking at the memorial, I was reminded of how many people had died during the earthquake. My parents, Serica's parents, even Karusu and Yui's parents, all had their names here too.
Do they? Are they there? Shit. Arimura. Oh.
Find it?
Yeah, right. It's right here.
Arimura Shingo. From the age when he died, it was safe to assume that this was him. But that didn't mean anything for sure. Damage from the Shibuya earthquake had been incredible. Some people had been declared dead without their bodies ever being found. In some cases, those people had later been found committing crimes. So just to be sure.
Would be a pretty good cover. Oh, you're here already? Sorry to keep you waiting.
Sorry for having you come out here so quickly. I contacted Shinjo-san and he had him meet me here.
No, it's better for me to know as much as possible about the case, even if it's something small.
Lately, I've been starting to think that Detective Shinjo-san might have been a lot better at his job than he looked. Damn. Of course, maybe people like him never really fit in the organization and couldn't grow into their full potential.
So, you wanted to ask about Arimura Hine's brother, right?
Yes.
I'll make it quick. Her brother Shingo is dead.
You're sure?
Yeah, there's no doubt. He died when his family's condo building collapsed during the Shibuya earthquake. The body was identified by a family member.
Did Hina? Oh, sorry.
Did Hina-chan, see his body? I can't tell you if she herself saw the body, but I can tell you for sure that he's dead.
So he wasn't just declared dead when they couldn't find his body then?
I have a photo, too. Want to take a look?
A dead body? I looked at it.
No,
just in case. But I was surprised to find that he didn't really look like Arimura. I'd never seen him before.
So when Hina-chan says her brother's alive...
Guess it's just her imagination after all.
Oh, how right you are, Takaru! Well, with all that's going on around her, and what happened with her dad, I can understand if she's in pretty bad shape. The mother's not doing so well either. You're her friends. Keep an eye on her.
Shinji-san seemed to think he might gain some clue by hearing what we had to say about Arimura, but he ended up going back to the station with barely anything to show for it. He didn't tell us anything about the police considering her as a suspect. By the time I got home that day, the sun had set. I stopped to buy some Mountain Dew at the convenience store like always. When I opened the door, bag in hand, I realized that something was wrong. I'd accidentally bought Mountain Dew Diet. Fuck.
Damn you!
I see. Not the only one who's been in that spot before.
Someone's in here? I could sense someone in the back of the dark room. Could it be? Could it be that I'm next? Who's there? I'm sure of it. Someone's there.
No, Arimura.
I know you're there. Come on out.
Son.
I tried to yell Yally to make myself feel stronger, but it didn't work. The figure slowly stood up in the darkness. In the next moment, it charged at me. It was so sudden I couldn't move. I beat it over the head with a Mountain Dew. No, I can't get away.
Well.
Senpai! Arimura? Arimura leapt into my arms. Why are you... Bruce had told me she'd taken her home. Am I not allowed to be here? I'm too scared to be anywhere else. Scared? But won't your aunt and uncle worry? It's fine. They just want to get rid of me anyway. That's something she...
What?
It was because of her power? Oh, please. Please, let me stay here. But... Is that okay? There were tears in her eyes. For the old Arimura, that might have been an act. Now... Okay. Really? Wasn't an act. Oh, right. Senpai, come inside, quick! You don't have to.
Yeah.
I know. Are you sure nobody followed you here?
To my house? Where I live?
I don't think so.
Oh, she is going full on paranoid now.
I see, but be careful, okay? Oh, also, do you have anything to put up, like duct tape or something? Duct tape? For what? We're gonna put up on the windows and cracks so my brother can't get in.
That doesn't make any sense.
What are you talking about? He can't come in through... First, I thought she was
Salt.
joking and laughed. Salt. But then I realized it was serious. You see? There's a little gap there, and over there. If we don't tape up the gaps, he'll get in somehow. Arimura.
Oh, boy.
He had told me before that her brother was alive and bent on revenge. Now I realized that it didn't matter whether he actually was alive or not. Her brother was after her. That was the only thought running through her mind now. Okay. We'll do that tomorrow. But it's too late tonight.
Okay.
She was still scared, but I managed to calm her down enough that she dropped the subject. But even as it got later, all she did was look outside and shiver. Morning came without either of us getting much sleep.
3rd, Tuesday.
I met the morning with the sound of chirping sparrows and the quietest snoring of a girl. I'd always thought that if it ever happened to me, it would be wonderful. Who could have imagined it would feel like this? She'd only just fallen asleep and it was already 10 a.m. I was worried about leaving her here by herself, but there was something they stayed up all night.
It's Tuesday. 10 a.m.? Oh, fuck. When does school start? What is going on?
There's something I wanted to check.
Your girl's already here.
What is it?
It's a different girl than last time. For someone with the face of a twin, you do pretty well for yourself.
Hey, don't... Wait, this doesn't matter right now. There's no harm in letting her have the wrong idea. I just need to do what I came here for.
Finger guns.
Just like the waitress had said, the person I was here to meet had already arrived. She was reading something and frowning, like always. You're late, considering you were the one who asked me to come here. She looked up from the book and spoke to me curtly. I'm sorry. So...
The late thing probably works with her, though.
Yeah.
What did you want to ask me about? I sat down and ordered, and she got straight to the point. It was clear she didn't want to waste any time on small talk. You supposedly know a lot about the brain and the mind, right, Kunisada-san?
Supposedly.
I don't supposedly know anything. My research specialty is brain science. In that case, I'd like your opinion as a specialist.
I don't know. You're not wearing the lab coat. I'm less confident in your expertise.
Arimura's actions over the past few days had gone well beyond what anyone would consider normal. No matter how much I tried to convince her that her brother was dead, she refused to believe it. No, it felt like she didn't even want to believe it. Arimura was the only one who had seen her brother to begin with. None of us had seen him, which meant that maybe it was all in her head after all. But then what was the cause? I could have looked it up on the internet, but not with Arimura in the room. And it was better to ask a specialist than just trying to figure it out based off some web pages. Well, the biggest factor is probably psychological stress. Unisada-san furrowed her brow when I finished talking to her. But is that enough to cause her to get so scared? Well, I haven't spoken to her personally, so this is just one possibility, but it could be a type of OCD, meaning an obsessive-compulsive disorder. OCD? You should know that criminal psychology isn't my specialty, but... She warned me before she continued. It's rare, but sometimes people who've murdered someone become terrified of that person's ghost. Ghost? That would be Arimura's brother in this. Arimura felt so guilty over her brother's death that she was seeing him in hallucinations? Well, I mean, that's alright then, but like, why now? Oh, okay, well, no, that's not alright, but at least it's fixable.
Okay, alright is not.
But there was another possibility that I was afraid of. The idea had suddenly come to me last night. I said it out loud. I gave it shape. It might change. And in a bad way. Well, then, for example, despite having a bad feeling about it, I couldn't keep myself from saying it. They could take revenge for someone who died even without even realizing it? Is that possible? Unisada-san must have understood exactly what I meant. She put down her coffee cup and looked me in the eyes. Are you telling me that you think Arimura killed her father in her brother's place? I'm asking, is it possible?
What is possible?
Well, it's not impossible. I'd been feeling that way ever since I'd seen her last night. She said that her brother had died because of her, but she also said that it was her mom and dad's fault. Perhaps Arimura blamed herself for her brother's death so much that she started hallucinating visions of him. And maybe that started to escalate until, unconsciously, she thought she was her brother and then killed her father. Of course, Arimura did say she'd been attacked, too. In that case, she would be lying, but... when the thought first came to me, it seemed impossible. I tried to tell myself I was overthinking things. But once a thought comes to you, it's impossible to be rid of it. The more you told yourself not to think of it, the more you started to think that maybe it was true. What was the truth, and what was a lie? I need to find out. Yushiro-senpai! Arimura leapt into my arms as soon as I opened the door. How could you leave me like that? Where did you go? Sorry, I went shopping and stuff. I figured we need some things. Look, you're hungry, right? Took out the sandwiches and rice balls I bought at the convenience store. I got worried when you just vanished. Fine. Huh?
That would stress me out.
No, it's nothing. Don't think about it. It's impossible.
Damn it, this is my house. I can leave when I want.
Are you careful? Careful of what? Careful that my brother didn't find this place. I told you, it's fine. Nobody's chasing after you. But he's looking for me, so... I looked away. I couldn't do it. I couldn't bear to see her like this. I grabbed Arimura by the shoulder and looked her straight in the eyes. Senpai? Listen to me, Arimura. Your brother is dead. I checked with the police. He's dead. And the dead don't come back to life. But he attacked me. It's true. Arimura. Why won't you believe me? Do you think I'm lying? That's not true. I believe you, but... Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Arimura's eyes went wide in shock.
It
was only then that I realized I made a terrible mistake. You're lying. Arimura. You really don't believe me? After all?
Womp womp.
Arimura shook off my hands, and large tears began to pour down from her eyes. No, Arimura, that was... Ow! I tried to calm her down, but she smacked my hand away. So, even you're lying to me now. Arimura, You're lying to me too, just like Dad and Mom and my brother. Arimura, listen to me. Oh, I don't want to hear it. I don't want... Arimura! Slipped past my hands and ran out of the RV. Then she ran out of the park without looking back. Probably should have chased after her, but I hesitated. If it really was Arimura who killed her own father, when that thought crossed my mind, I lost my will to follow her.
Yeah, that go awful loud in here. What's going on?
Vincent.
By the way, I brought you another one.
Vincent, I'm sorry, but not now.
What? Come on, I brought it special just for you. You can pay me later.
I said not now, just leave.
He's not gonna remember that anyway.
Yes, what am I doing? What am I...
Check out the Cool Cat Press on the subject. What to do when your girlfriend's cracking up. She doesn't believe you. When you tell her that you believe her.
Arimura Hinae was in a hospital room. It took her a while to figure out what she was doing lying in a hospital bed. But when she did, she remembered everything that had happened. She wanted to believe it was a dream. But the bandages around her body and the pain from her injuries told her that it wasn't.
Her Mom and Dad.
She looked around for her parents. She staggered out of bed and finally saw them in the hallway. They were each talking to someone on the phone and trying to hide from the other as they did. Hinae could tell that they were talking to their lovers. How could they be doing that now, when her brother was dead?
How can you do that at a time like this, Mom?
The next thing she knew, she was taking her anger out on her mother.
Hinae-chan, I'm glad you're awake.
That was a lie.
Big Bro's dead. How can you do this? Calm down, Hinae-chan. Mom's making an important phone call, so...
That was a lie.
Why? Why didn't you save Big Bro? He was still alive. If you came with me, we could have saved him. Why didn't you come with me? We tried to save him, of course, but before you came, but we couldn't.
That was a lie.
Oof.
Then why did you say it was too late? We didn't want you to get hurt. We thought it should go inside if we didn't tell you that. Lying. Hina-chan.
Hina had grabbed her mom before she realized what she was doing.
Lying. You're lying. All you do is lie. Everything you say is a lie. Hina-chan, stop it. Why do you lie so much? Why don't you tell the truth? I don't want to hear all these lies. Stop lying and tell me. Tell me the truth. Why did you let Big Bro die? Why did you kill him? Tell me. Tell me. Fault.
It was the first time she had seen her mother's face like that. It was a scary face. All the false kindness had been wiped away. It wasn't the face of her mother anymore. It was the face of a woman.
It's all your fault. Shingo went inside because he thought you were there. If he had known you weren't in there, he would have never gone inside. And you want to know why we didn't save him? It's all your fault he was there in the first place.
That was the truth. It was the first true thing her mother had told her today. And that truth destroyed her. Shingo had gone out to buy a present for Hinae, just like she had done for him. And then the earthquake had happened. He'd run back home, found the building half collapsed, then ignored his parents' warnings and went inside. He believed that she was in there, and that's why he had died.
My fault.
The whole world shook. Everything she knew fell apart. And that was how Hinae lost everything.
Did you need something from our class?
Oh, no, Arimura here?
She didn't come into school today.
Thanks. The next day, just like I thought, Arimura hadn't come to school. It was after school, and the clubroom was still empty. Really, Arimura who killed her father? Maybe I need to go back over everything that's happened so far, just to get clear in my head. First, the data and locations of the new Gen Madness murder. There's been 4 incidents so far. Don't Look in Jinan, Audio Bleed in Shinsen, Revolving Dead at Fairy's Dance, a place I would never forget. And there was some morbidly obese case, which also occurred right in front of us. Yeah, good so far. The problem was what came next. All the murders after Sir Morbidly Obese. There were 3 victims. The first victim was, that's right, headless body that was burnt to death. The next victim was Ida Moe, a student at Hekio Academy. And finally, Arimura Kochiro, Arimura Hine's father. That was the order. Not. Looking back at the cases, it was clear that there was no relationship between the first 4 murders and the last 3. The first 4 cases had been extremely bizarre. The later ones were brutal, but fairly ordinary. More than anything, there were the sumo stickers. I'd been so relieved that they were gone, I'd been slow to pick up on it, but there were no sumo stickers anywhere to be found near the sites of the last 3 murders. In other words, there were 2 completely separate groups. Not to mention, Ida Moe had been a huge fan of Arimura Hinae, and Kochiro was her father. In a broad sense, these 2 were both related to Arimura. Then there was the headless burnt body. They hadn't identified the body yet, but maybe it means that I was right. I turned around at the sound of the door opening. I saw Kazuki standing there. Oh, it's you, Kazuki. I thought about getting a second opinion, but with Kazuki, that wouldn't be possible. I went to turn back to the board, only to realize that Kazuki was staring at me. Wrong. Surprisingly, Arimura had taken a liking to silent Kazuki. Kazuki didn't seem to mind her either. The 2 of them had built up a unique friendship. Maybe Kazuki was worried about Arimura too. Maybe. Huh? What's that? Kazuki? Let's talk? Hey, Kazuki, did you... Come to think of it, she did talk once before. Last time it felt like she'd been so caught up in Arimura's energy that she'd spoken without thinking. Wait, that doesn't matter right now. Kazuki, what did you... It might be my fault, baby. This time I could hear her clearly. Why do you think that it's your fault? We were talking about Hina-san's brother. And it might be because I asked... Maybe... Asked what? If she wanted to see her brother. What on earth is she talking about? Why would it be her fault for asking if Arimura wanted to see her brother? Kazuki, you have to explain it to me or I won't understand. What exactly do you mean? I'm a psychic too. Psychic? Wait. You mean a gigalomaniac? You are? I asked if she wanted to see her brother. That's probably why she's him. Hina-san's so nice, so I wanted to talk to her too. But I might have done something awful again. Maybe. Not only was Kazuki not used to talking, but she was sobbing too. It was hard to get anything out of her. But I understood what she was trying to say. Arimura was seeing her brother because Kazuki had asked if she wanted to see him. And that this was because of her power as a gigalomaniac. Of course, it was possible that Kazuki was joking, mistaken. However, look at something. It didn't seem that way.
That's why she doesn't talk.
Which meant what I was saying was really true. I didn't know if that her brother she had seen had really killed her father, but some power of Kazuki has caused Arimura to see her brother. It wasn't a hallucination or a mistake. But in that case, who had killed her father?
Nishiro.
Suddenly the door burst open and Ito rushed inside. What? I'm thinking right now. We can talk later.
Oh, I guess you didn't know then, huh? I see. Some right-sider you are.
What don't I know?
No, you're thinking, right? We can talk later.
Don't be a dick, man. Just tell me already.
You mean, please tell me, right?
This is not the time, Ito. Fine, I'm sorry. Please. Tell me what happened.
You don't sound like you really mean
Listen
it.
here, you little shit. Just before I started to get really mad, though, the door opened once more and Sarika ran in.
Hey, Taku, did you hear? There's been another case.
Oh, no, I don't.
New case? Do you mean?
Yeah, a murder.
Can't be.
That's what I was just about to say.
I ignored that idiot and ran up to Serica. And who was killed? I ended up almost grabbing her. Serica looked a little scared.
Well,
just tell me, who was the victim?
I think it was a woman in her 40s.
What in her? It was Arimura's mom, wasn't it?
Hina-chan's, but why?
No. If it was, I would have told you sooner. I'm not that much of a dick.
Is it? And it's not someone that's related to Arimura? Does it have nothing to do with the others, or? Phone call? Could it be? Arimura? Grabbed my phone out of the pocket, looked at the name on the screen, but it wasn't who I hoped it was.
Ishiro-kun? It's Shinjo.
I could hear the tension in his voice, and it scared me.
Give me that shit before I read the
Why are you calling?
Just a few hours ago, there was another murder in Shibuya. Did you hear about it? It was a woman in her 40s named Mikami Hinako.
Yeah, we were just talking about it.
We have a suspect in the murder.
Suspect? Who is it?
Who? Listen carefully. On the 25th, Ishida Moe was murdered. Then on the 26th, Arimura Koichiro was killed as well. And then, last night, Mikami Hinako was killed. The suspect in all these murders is... Bum, bum, bum. Oh, didn't see that coming. Arimura Hinae's mother. Any luck, Takaru?
Oh, good. She's not picking up. Bruce and the others had arrived in the club room afterward, and I filled them in on the situation. We tried to call her, but no luck. Maybe she didn't want to answer my calls. Damn it, it's all my fault because I doubted her.
There's not the time for that. She's right. We need to find where Hina-chan is.
But she's not picking up her phone, and I don't know where she is. At this rate...
Well, we have to do something. Let's think of a way.
I can't think of anything. But that's when someone handed me a phone. Kazuki? She picked up, maybe. Hina-san. I grabbed the phone and put it in my ear.
Of course.
Hello? Arimura, it's me. It's Miyashiro. Hi? Wait, don't hang up. Listen to me. I'm sorry I doubted you. You weren't wrong. I was wrong, so I'm sorry. Really. And bye. Can we meet somewhere? I need to tell you something in person. Now. Why not? I'm about to meet my mom.
Uh-oh.
We can meet after that. Wait, Arimura, don't go. You can't.
Click. Taku, where's Hina-chan?
You hung up. Called back, but she wouldn't answer. She either wasn't getting a signal or she turned off her phone. Either way, we had no clue of no way of contacting her now. She told me that she was meeting with her mother.
Not ideal. Huh?
Wait, that's bad, isn't it?
Do you know where she's going?
I didn't have time to ask.
Do you have some clue? Some place they would have gone together? Or that was important to them?
Don't be stupid. You wouldn't meet with her mom in a place like...
Serica said,
Right.
letting Taku solve the puzzle.
I think I heard... Ah.
Come on, dummy, you know this! Taku.
I heard a sound on the other side of the phone. That was probably... I remember my conversation with Shinjo-san as I ran. Arimura's mother? You mean her mother was the killer?
We're sure about Ishida Moe in the cases after that. We're pretty sure about the burnt body as well.
Eric and the others had insisted I put the phone on speaker mode. I did that before I continued. But why would her mom...
Did you know that the Arimura family was essentially dysfunctional?
Yeah, I mean, more or less. It was easy to imagine after what Arimura had told me.
Both Arimura's mother and dad. That throws me off. Mother and dad. You'd
Yeah.
say mom and dad or mother and father. They had separate lovers who they spent almost all their time with. But suddenly, Arimura Megumi, her mother, had a falling out with her lover of 10 years last month. Damn, 10 years. After that, she supposedly began to act strangely. Oh my god, it was the dad. The god damn it. The clinic doctor. I can't remember his name. At first, she felt hatred toward her lover for abandoning her, but eventually she started to direct the hate toward her family and her husband. If she had a happy home life, if her husband hadn't been such a failure, she never would have had an affair in the first place. Wild. At least that's what she said. But that's...
Bruce raised her voice in anger at Arimura's mother's selfish act.
Eventually, it escalated to the point where she began to hate her daughter, Hinae. Wild shit.
Why?
I don't know. According to her, it was because Arimura Hinae was the thing that tore her family apart. And also the reason she broke up with her lover. What?
Arimura's real father was her mother's lover. Of course, her dad knew this. Her birth had caused a rift in the Arimura family, and had essentially ceased to be a family at all. What was worse is the strange power that Arimura had. She seemed to have it under control now, but at first she hadn't known how to handle it. As a result, her mother had come to fear and loathe her.
Arimura Megumi became psychologically unstable. She killed her ex, chopped off his head, and set the body on fire. Okay, probably not then. Then she planned to take revenge on the people that she blamed for her problems, her husband Koichiro and her daughter Hinae. The police believe the second victim, Ishida Moe, was mistaken for Hinae and killed. Imagine mistaking someone for your daughter and then murdering them. And then you're like 7 stabs in and you're like, whoops. And now she's escaped the police. So we think she's plotting her daughter's murder?
It was Arimura's mother, Arimura Megumi, who had killed her father. And now her mother was trying to kill her too. And then there were the phantoms of her dead brother haunting her. Damn it. I did something that I couldn't take back now. All I could do to atone now was find Arimura as fast as possible. I had to stop her from meeting with her mother no matter what. My lungs are already at their limit. My lack of exercise has caught up with me. My legs weren't doing what I told them to. But I had to keep going. Because I was sure that...
There's got to be like a transit that can get you there quicker.
I think what I heard was Arimura was probably around here somewhere. Hi. I heard her. That was definitely Arimura's voice. Hi. Where is she? Of course, because it's your... over there. Mom? I looked for my mom. Oh, this is Arimura's. This is from Arimura's perspective. Oh shit.
I think so.
I looked for my mom where she said she'd be. I was so surprised when she suddenly texted me. I never thought that she'd actually say she wanted to see me. First, I thought that she'd just been joking. I couldn't believe what she said, either. I was so sad to lose your father that way. Oh, yeah. But maybe she really meant it. Because I can't tell if people are lying over the phone.
Yep.
I hadn't talked to my mom in a long time. Mom had started avoiding me when she realized I had the power to tell when she was lying. So I didn't know what had happened to her and Dad since then, and I didn't care. I figured that after my brother's death, they hadn't tried to get back together. They'd both split off to do their own thing. But maybe she changed. Maybe Dad's death had made her rethink things. So I decided to do what she hoped I would. It was the last wish I had left. So I'd come to meet my mom. And I immediately regretted it. So happy you came. You really meant it. I've wanted to see you for so long.
That was true too.
You meant that too.
Stab!
Now that Dad's gone, you're the only person I care about. A lie. From now on, you'll be together with me forever. Lie. Now come closer so I can see your pretty face. Lie, lie, lie. All lies. Hey, Mom. I spoke up. Why do you always lie like that? I'm not lying. Really, You are lying. I can tell. I can tell when you're not telling the truth. Why are you saying that, Hina-chan? Your mom loves you so much. That's a lie, too. Mom looked surprised for a second. Then she looked down at her feet and didn't say anything. Maybe I'd said too much. Mom? Fine. I'll tell you the truth then. Mom? Is this her real voice? It's your fault. This actually was her real voice. If it hadn't been for Shingo, I never would have had to marry your dad in the first place. Mom's words. But you were his child, so I took care of you, but... When you were born, it ruined my life. All true. I never should have had you, or Shingo. A creepy girl like you never should have been born.
Oof.
Really was telling the truth. So disappear! Just go away! Words I wanted to hear. Words I didn't want to hear. And you know, that's what Shingo wants too. Hey, bro? That's right. Your brother comes to me every day. He says it hurts. He says he didn't want to die. Hey, bro. It's all your fault and his fault. It's his fault I got married when I didn't want to. It's your fault my family was ruined. You stole my happiness. It's all your fault. Because you were born. Because a monster like you was born. That's why he... Telling the truth. This is the truth I wanted to hear. But if this was the truth, then You understand how I feel, right? So, you see... Mom took something out of her bag. The towel it was wrapped in fell off. I could see a little bit of sunlight glinting off the exposed metal. Even though I recognized what it was, I couldn't move. The truths that I just heard had shocked me so much that I couldn't move. When you're gone, I can finally be happy. Mom smiled. It was the first time I'd seen her real smile. Bye-bye, Hina-chan. Came closer. She looked so happy. There was nothing I could do but wait for her embrace. Arimura should be around here. It's all your fault. That voice. It's all your fault. It's because a monster like you was born. That's Arimura's. I raced towards the voice, under the dimly lit bridge, in an empty space with nothing but the sound of the trains. Arimura. When you're gone, I can finally be happy. There was a woman standing in front of her. She was so tired that she looked very aged, but she was probably in her early 40s. The woman had taken something out of her bag. Bye-bye, Hina-chan. When the woman started walking towards Arimura, I understood the situation. At this rate, Arimura would be killed, but from where I was standing, I wouldn't reach her in time. Damn it!
Yes.
She's right over there. Yet all I could do was just watch as she dies? Damn it, damn it, damn it! Arimura! I screamed as loud as I could, but...
Lightning strike.
Ah! The woman didn't hear my voice. She held the blade in front of her and began to run. Ah! And then I saw something in the corner of my eye. It was... Dai sword.
Blum.
There was a loud noise. The woman suddenly recoiled backwards. Then she grabbed her ears and fell to her knees. Red drops fell from between her fingers.
Ooh.
I caused that? My power caused her earrings to move, ripping them from her ears.
Oh.
But it was only held her back for a moment. She glared at Arimura and charged with the blade once more. Arimura! Hi! flung myself between them. Sound of a train. The warning bells at the crossing bars lowered. Lights and shadows intersecting. And burning pain. Senpai! Ishiro Senpai!
Don't take the knife out. Oh, God.
Heard footsteps somewhere deep within my head. Arimura's mother had probably come back to her senses after stabbing me and ran off somewhere. But the pain was so strong that I couldn't look to see. Arimura must have passed out without realizing it, because the next thing I knew, Arimura was cradling my head in her lap. Senpai, don't move! I'll call an ambulance! Hey, Arimura. Softly rubbed her cheek. Her pretty pale skin was stained dark red with my blood. Are you apologizing? Because I didn't leave you. You can forgive me. One more time. Arimura? I'm the one who should be sorry. I shouldn't have run off like that. You just tried to save me to the very end, and Arimura.
Totally got him stabbed.
Please, Senpai, don't die. Arimura's tears wet my cheeks. Tears fell in great numbers, rolling off my cheeks and hitting the ground. Arimura, but...
You're crying in my eyes.
And I'm already... Arimura, I don't know who this is. When I woke up from, I'm gonna assume it's me. No,
it's got to be Hinae, right?
Yeah,
because we're looking at Taku.
Yeah. When I woke up from my sleep, I saw the first face of the person I've been dreaming of in panic. Huh? Was I sleeping? Oh, Miyashiro Senpai. Oh, you're awake? I'm sorry. I kind of passed out while I was waiting for you. It's fine. You don't need to worry about it. Senpai was always so nice to me. So sometimes I wanted to let him spoil me. What? Miyashiro Senpai, you're really nice, aren't you? What are you talking about? I'm not. No, you are nice. You came to save me after all. I was worried about you. Hey, Senpai? What is it? Does it hurt? Your injury? Well, sometimes, but it's not a big deal. I'm sorry. It's my fault. Not your fault. How many times do I have to tell you? No, it really is my fault. My heart was weak. That's why... Arimura. But I realized something. You can't divide the world up into truths and lies. The world is half truths and half lies, and we have to accept that. Otherwise, you just can't keep going. If I'd found that out earlier, My mom had been arrested shortly after that. An officer at a police box had seen her staggering down the street, covered in blood, and taken her in.
That'll do it, yeah.
He'd lost her mind to the point where they weren't even sure she could stand trial. But she'd have to go to some hospital, Shinjo-san had said. It was her own fault that this had happened to her. But part of it was my fault, too. I would have to carry the burden of that truth for the rest of my life. But at least you know now, right? Huh? The world is half truths and half lies. Yes. Then it's alright. As long as you know that, you can keep moving forward. Right. Senpai would always tell me the path I need to follow. So that's why Miyashiro Senpai, I have a request. Can you kiss me? What? Do you not want to? No, it's not that, but hey, why you? If those words are true, it's okay, right? If you kiss me.
Pretty slick, actually. What's wrong? You don't wanna? It's like, oh, god damn it. I'm stuck here.
Oh. Ah! Hana, when did you get here? You could have pretended not to see anything for just a little longer. Stop pounding on the wall. You'll punch a hole in it. I was so close, too.
Hannah was hoping to make a move on you. Oh, there you are, Taku. It's the Restoration Festival today. We're all going together, right?
Oh, you're here too, Arimura. I bet the two of you were making out.
Making out? Ita-kun, watch your mouth.
Jeez.
We say mugging down in this house.
Might be a while before I get that kiss at this rate. Senpai. Huh? Ready to go to the Restoration Festival? Oh, yeah. Well then, let's go together. Huh? Grabbed his hand and started to run. Made a promise, right? Come on, let's go, Senpai.
I have been stabbed recently.
Hey, wait!
Fresh stitches. No running. We're very clear about that. Hey, no running off on your own. No running in the hallway.
Is that really the problem here?
He was right. As long as I was with him, I could keep moving forward, even in a world of truths and lies. Because when he came to save me, I knew that his feelings were true. So, thank you, Senpai.
What a nice, warm, happy ending.
Imagine. Eerie credit sequence. Doesn't.
Except
the town.
November 21st,
Dun, dun, dun.
2015, Saturday.
I was going to say, because we don't really resolve a lot there.
Freeze your credit bureau.
A whole lot doesn't go. Everyone's here, right?
Shinjo-san looked around at the assembled group before he spoke.
Post-credit scene.
It was an early Saturday morning, but there were still quite a few people here. Momose Katsuka, the CEO of Frisia, Kunisada Mio, a student at Hekio Academy and the famous Kei-san of Shibuya News, Ito Shinji, part of Hekio Newspaper Club, Kurisu Nono, Kazuki Hana, and Onoe Serika. None of them looked happy to be here. They had all had a vague idea of what they had brought, why they'd been brought here, but they still seemed to be afraid of what they were about to hear. Shinjo-san didn't feel much different. He slowly began to speak, with the same expression of tension on his face as the rest of them.
We found Arimura Hinae and Miyashiro Taku.
Shinjo-san began to tell them what the police had learned about what had happened between me, Arimura, and her mother on November 4th. Please, Senpai, don't die. After her mom had stabbed me, I was lying on the ground with my head in her lap. Even now, I still remember how hot her tears had felt. Arimura, my consciousness gradually began to fade. Arimura, And then, in the corner of my eye, I saw her. It was Arimura's mother. I thought she had left, but I was wrong. All sanity was gone from her eyes. I saw a sharp flash as she raised her hand high above Arimura's head. Arimura!
What?
With all the strength I had left, I pushed Arimura down and covered her with my body. Burning pain ran down my back.
What?
Again and again. Senpai! Again and again. Again. Pain. No! Screams. Mad laughter. A horn. Sound of a train. Light and shadow. By that point, I didn't even know what was going on anymore. All I could discern was the sound of something hitting the ground. The sound of dragging feet, as well as... Senpai! Senpai! Arimura sobs.
Huh.
I tried to speak, but I felt unbelievably weak. When I finally did, my voice was barely a whisper.
but I still used all the strength I had left. I had to tell her. I had to tell Arimura.
It's too late.
Hi. It doesn't matter. Don't say anything else. But you know, Dad. No, I don't.
Blew it.
I don't want to hear it. I think. And bye. I know. You're telling the truth.
Ugh.
Senpai? Oh, Senpai, don't lie to me like that. Oh, Senpai. No!
After the stabbing, Arimura Megumi was found by the police officer walking down the street, covered in blood. But unfortunately, she lost her mind. I'm told we can't get anything out of her.
And what about the two of them?
You're aware that Arimura Hinae and Miyashiro Takaru both vanished from the scene, yes?
Shinjo-san took their silence as a yes and continued.
For some reason, despite our best efforts, the police were unable to find them. That is, until yesterday. The two of them turned out to be hiding in the sealed basement beneath A.H. Tokyo General. How in the hell?
The place had been locked up tight. There's no way anyone
could find us there. In fact, we stayed down there for almost 3 weeks.
You better teleport or something, I guess. Even so, the two of them are safe, what? Well...
About the two of them.
Unesada-san picked up where Shinjo-san hesitated. He'd already heard, it seemed.
Arimura Hinae is currently being held at the hospital.
When she was found, she was holding Miyashiro Takaru in her arms. However, it had been 2 weeks since the time of death,
God.
and the body had already rotted and partially calcified. I'm told that parts of his body were missing. Well,
Woo!
See them all gasp in horror.
Arimura Hinae was apparently holding his corpse closely and continuously talking to it.
Yikes, were we?
That's
what?
right. I died right after that. It was to be expected, given how many times I'd been stabbed. And the next thing I knew, I was in that hospital. My body was there, unmoving. Arimura was holding me. I didn't know how Arimura had gotten it down there, but he probably had gotten help from her. Senpai. Arimura was talking to me with a happy look on her face. Senpai, I have a request.
Oh no.
I didn't think she was at school. She kept saying the same thing over and over. I was sure that she was hearing my voice as well. No, not just me. Erika was there, and Rusu, as well as Ito and Kazuki. What she was seeing was...
What what Hina-chan is seeing is the true world.
That's Erika for you. Knew exactly what I wanted to say. Yeah, that was the true world. It was a world of truth that Arimura wished for. And she could hear them. Voices without lies. Now I knew. I was a part of her. Erika softly touched.
Don't make that face. I'm sure Taku had a good time too. Right, Taku? Right, aren't I?
Everyone then looked out of the window in unison up at the sky. How strange.
I resent
I'm right here. But what Serika said was right. This was for the best. My voice couldn't reach her anymore. But Arimura now had the world she desired. She had attained the world of truth. And she was still whispering inside of that empty room. Thank you, Senpai.
Dark Sky End. Any thoughts about that ending?
Yeah, he's been mind controlled in the basement from the beginning. That's, I guess, like none of these happened. This is all in his brain. Ooh, it'd be a real trip if he's the imaginary friend and Serica's the real one. That'd be fun.
All right, well, that was Arimura's end. And we still got a little while left, so you want to start on Kazuki's?
Sounds like a good plan.
All right, so we're picking right back up, rewinding a little bit back to the end of chapter 6, running away.
Same part that we left off with last time.
Yep, running away from Hidoriko, except things might be a little different now.
I ran down many different
What's
alleys.
changed this time around?
This time, the only thing different from this playthrough was the one time you meet with Arimura, and you still do all positives, but the one time you meet with Arimura in the classroom, where she asks you to help her fold papers, you do that as a negative delusion instead of a positive one.
Gotcha.
All the rest are positive.
I ran down many different alleyways and turned down several corners. I didn't even know where I was anymore. I just kept running, sure that if I turned back, that woman would be right behind me. I ran. And ran. And ran so far away. And then...
Pandemic Call, a dance that echoes past.
The fucking titles, man.
The next thing I knew, I was at school. It was nighttime, but for some reason, the back gate was open. I went in from there. I'd been so desperate to get away that I hadn't realized where I was. Maybe it had come this way so many times that I just followed the path unconsciously. The lights were still on in the teacher's office and a few of the special classrooms. It was late, but it was possible that someone was still here cleaning up after the culture festival. At some point, I'd gotten separated from Arimura. That worried me. I imagined her screaming as she was burnt by a pillar of flame and almost threw up. Ugh. No, that's overthinking things. That's impossible. It can't happen.
Not impossible.
Why are we attacked anyway? Why was that woman after me? Or Arimura? Somebody tell me. My throat was parched. I hadn't even been running that long. It hurt to breathe. My strength was at its limits. The one thing I could be thankful for was that the horrible sensation caused by the sumo stickers was gone. For now, I decided to just head to the club room. It wasn't necessarily safe, but I at least wanted to catch my breath. And maybe Arimura would be there too. The door's unlocked, but the lights were on. I quickly ran inside. Arimura! I staggered inside and collapsed on the table. I wanted water. No matter how much I tried to breathe, my lungs demanded more oxygen. The room filled with the sound of me gasping for air. Nobody responded. Is Arimura not here after all? If so, then why are the lights on? Who? My throat was so dry that I choked when I tried to speak. I curled into a ball and spat phlegm out of my mouth. Phlegm. Only then was I able to raise my head and look around the room.
And, you know, cardio's tough, but curling into a ball and hocking up blue gaze seems like an extreme response.
Oh. Kazuki was there. She was standing in the corner of the room looking at me with wide eyes. Oh, so you were the one in the room. That would explain why I thought no one was here. But what's Kazuki doing here at this hour? She's fucking raid night, man.
You think? Yeah, like, bro, the same thing she does every night.
Trying to take over the world.
Did she come here after I left the RV this afternoon? I thought about asking her, but before I could, I saw the computer monitor. It was displaying the same game screen as always. Playing a game? How can you be playing a game at a time like this, when I was almost killed by that woman? Hey!
Nothing to do.
I choked again. I could only speak in a hoarse whisper. Must have noticed how out of breath I was. She offered me a bottle of mineral water. The cap was off. Does that mean she'd been drinking from it?
It's like you.
I wondered for a moment if it was okay to drink, but I wasn't in a position to be choosy. I snatched the bottle out of her hands and poured its contents down my throat. I drank so fast that some of the water had gone down the wrong pipe, and I started to cough violently. But I still feel a lot better than before.
God damn it. Why did they? Why?
Thanks.
Make him such a goober.
Collapsed to the ground, unable to say another word. When I finally caught my breath, the terror from before came back. My body started to shake. I needed to hide somewhere. I couldn't be sure if this place was safe. If it wasn't, Kazuki would be in danger too. Kazuki seemed confused by my behavior. Does she want to ask what's going on? I didn't think she cared about anyone else, but maybe she's nicer than I thought. She did come to check on me with the others this afternoon, after all. That being said, I don't think I have much time to explain the situation to her. First, I have to get somewhere Huh? That sound. You heard that, right? It was an eerie sound, like something had exploded. You never hear that sound as part of a normal, everyday life. But sometimes you hear it in fiction, like in movies or TV shows. Come from? I felt like it was far away, but it was hard to tell. I stood up and opened the window to look outside. Ah! A car parked in the front entrance had exploded. Black smoke was rising, and the flames were illuminating their surroundings. A teacher had run out of the office and was yelling for someone to call a fire truck. It's her. It's that woman. Too dark to spot her from here. And I was right. She really is after me. Does that mean I'm her target? If so, then why me? You're going to be killed, Miyashiro Takaru-senpai.
Good God.
Because I'm a psychic? Shit. I have to get out of here. As I went to leave the room, my gaze met Kazuki's. I didn't have time to explain. Kazuki, just get out of here. Go home. Be as quiet as you can, but the gate, that's right. Don't go out the front gate.
You know.
That was all I had time
where
to
the explosions are.
Before I fled into the hallway. How many people were still here in the school building? I heard what sounded like a teacher's voice down below. At times like this, a wrong-sider could do nothing but panic. In fact, they often did stupid things that put them in even more danger. Wait, isn't that what I was doing right now?
Yes.
I felt like laughing for some reason. I just prayed that she wouldn't hurt anyone else. All I could do was pray and run. There was no sign of her in the hallway. I need to head out of the main building and escape out the back. Again? I heard another distant explosion and felt what might have been the building shaking, the glasses vibrating. You're kidding me. Kazuki ran out of the room too. He was trying to follow me. Why are you following me? Why the hell is she following me? If that woman really is after me, then Kazuki's putting herself in danger. But Kazuki ignored my warning and shook her head frantically back and forth as if she was about to cry. Damn it, let's just get out of the school. I yelled, more for my sake than Kazuki's, and started to run out of the hallway. Across the connecting hallway to the main building. In the distance, I could hear someone yelling for people to get to a safe place. The area around the school was in chaos. It must have been the people who lived in the neighborhood. Why is she drawing so much attention to herself? Is she trying to kill me? Or isn't she trying to kill me? Even if she does manage to kill me, does she really think she can escape with all these people around? What the hell is going on? Why is that woman trying to kill me anyway? Is she really the culprit behind the murders? Or is she just a psychopath who likes setting things on fire at random? She is, and what the hell?
Little A, little B.
Bit my lip and ran down the dark hallway. If it was this dark, it wouldn't be easy for her to find me. All I had to do was get to the bottom of the stairs at the other side of the building. Then I'd go right past the library, then the track, and I'd reach the rear entrance. If I could make it out of the school while she was setting fire to cars at the front gate, I could escape. Kazuki, hurry! Kazuki was trying her best to keep up with me. To be honest, she was slowing me down, but I was the one who'd run into the club room. Part of me thought it was my fault for getting her involved, so I had no choice but to wait for her. I waited for her to catch up to me and started to dash down the stairs. Then, this time I heard an explosion coming from the track outside. I could see crimson flames rising from the dark window. You're kidding me! She got there first? Damn it, let's head back! We stopped at the second floor and started to run back to the main gate. First, she burned the cars outside the gate, then she headed for the rear. It was unlikely she'd head back to the front gate that quickly. Kazuki was running out of breath. So was I, honestly. I was exhausted, and we hadn't even been running that long. But we didn't have time to rest. I ran past the cafeteria, then went down to the entrance on the first floor. The entrance was always open during the day, but now all the doors were locked and closed and locked. They were the kind that you needed a key to open, so no matter what side you were on. Break a window? I looked outside for a moment and astonished by what I saw. No way! The gate was sealed with burning cars. When I seen it from the room, there weren't any cars there. No, wait, did she move them there to block the gate? Did she actually move those burning cars all by herself? That's insane. I could see a crowd gathering around the burning cars, too. I tried to force my way through, and that woman came back. Just thinking about it terrified me. That psychopath wouldn't even think twice before killing them all. Can't do it. I couldn't leave by the main gate. It would be too dangerous to try and avoid her flames while running through the crowd.
Oh my god.
But then where do we run to? Kazuki flinched when I yelled. Sorry, I wasn't yelling at you. Where? Where do we go? Should we head back out to the rear entrance? No way in hell. She was just out there. I'd probably run right into her. Calm down, think. Stood there paralyzed. Feel the fear crawling up my body. I came to this school every day, but at this moment I felt like I'd never been here before. Every shadow seemed like it might hide some danger. I was overcome with the idea that she might appear at any moment. I couldn't move a muscle. In my head, I knew that it would be easy to find me where I was, and I needed to move. But I couldn't. I felt like my mind had been separated from my body. Very bad. I might die here. Kazuki tugged lightly on my... Then I got a hold of myself again. My body was shaking, but I was barely able to move. Let's go. I just needed to hide somewhere. I ended up coming to my own classroom, closed the doors and crouched by the windows, using the desk to block myself from sight. Kazuki was looking at me, concerned. Look, she'll see you. Kazuki quickly ducked down under her desk. Now all we had to do was stay put, wait for the storm to pass. Listen for any noises outside. I became extremely sensitive to even the smallest sound. Even a tiny noise was enough to make me start shivering. I hadn't heard any explosions for a while. As I sat there, cradling my knees in my arms, I felt the urge to scream from terror. I bit my lip to stop myself from doing it. Maybe it would have been a better idea to keep running around the school. I was too defenseless here. I was hidden, sure. If you found this place, I was finished. This was the 4th floor. I couldn't jump out of a window. If you trapped me in here, I was done for. Maybe this was a bad idea. The fear kept building. I couldn't stay calm. I wanted to run. Even if I did get out of the school, how long would I have to keep running? When would she give up? Was there any guarantee that she ever would? Maybe she kept following me until I was dead. What the hell do I do?
Snail.
Yeah. I shuddered. I could hear the distant sound of heels. I heard the faint sound of someone dragging their leg. I thought back when Arimura and I had been attacked less than an hour ago. Was she dragging her leg? Couldn't remember. I felt sure of it somehow. Those footsteps belonged to her. Kazuki gulped. That meant I wasn't imagining the footsteps. They were closer than I thought. She was on this floor. She was walking down the hallway. She was getting closer. I clutched myself tighter. I couldn't stop shaking. You know that I'm here? Or is it just a coincidence? Should I stay here? Should I move? If I run out now, she'll find me for sure. But there's no guarantee she'll just walk by the classroom. Either way, I'm screwed. It's over. I'm going to be burned alive. I panicked and moved over to Kazuki. A woman with pyrokinetic powers is going to attack us. She's after me. Kazuki's eyes went wide as she finally understood the situation. I skipped the explanation.
We were just fucking around.
I skipped the explanation about what pyrokinetic powers were because I figured she might have known from her games.
I mean,
He's going to kill us both. Is there anything we could do? Anything, help me! He's almost on top of us. All I could do was crouch and hold my head in my hands. This whole situation was insane. I was going to be killed without even knowing why. Save me. Someone, anyone, save me. And then...
Jericho.
A whisper akin to a silent prayer, or perhaps a beseechment, found its ways to my ears.
Beseechment.
Do something, baby. Huh? Kazuki stood up and looked down at me, her face filled with uncertainty. That grotesque thing she's holding in her hand. It looked like some strange creature from the deep sea, or perhaps a spine ripped out of a human body. It was solemn, grave, and sharp, projecting everything around it. It was full of radiant charm that enthralled everything around it. It shone with the light of its contradicting nature. The one thing I knew for sure somehow, that it was a sword. This a sword? Kazuki has a dai sword too? Kazuki, did you just talk? Wait, forget that. That's a sword. I was so confused. So much was happening at once I couldn't keep up. I didn't know what to ask at first.
Are you psychic?
If we can get to the roof. Roof. I wasn't sure what she was talking about. Why she suddenly decided to start talking. The footsteps were getting closer. I don't know what will happen. I can't guarantee the results. But if you're okay with that. That's it. Kazuki's trying to save me. Stood up as silently as I could. So we head for the roof, right? No time to think about it. Even if she couldn't guarantee what would happen, I didn't have any other choice. Fortunately, the woman had passed by our classroom and headed for another wing of the building. We were able to make it to the roof easily. The roof of Hekio Academy was a garden. Of course, it wasn't the first time I'd been here at night. Now wasn't the time for sightseeing, but I still gasped when I saw the view of Shibuya at night. I looked down over the fence, saw the front gate right below us. The cars were still burning and the crowd was getting bigger. The fire department was right nearby, but the fire trucks hadn't arrived yet.
Odd.
I'm gonna let you know right now, Eric.
Huh?
Where this is going, it's gonna blow your mind.
Yeah,
What was she going to do here?
I believe it.
Was she going to use that sword to fight? It's going to be like something out of a manga or an anime. I couldn't imagine her trying to fight with that thing. If she wanted to fight, there was no need to come to the roof at all. You could have just ambushed the one in the hallway. She's trying to be chivalrous or something? Stand by. Huh? You should hide, baby. What are you going to do? Kazuki glanced at me, but didn't answer. Then she walked towards the fence, and then she grabbed onto the fence, took a deep breath. With no warning whatsoever, she screamed into the empty air. Here we go.
Oh, is she like
Ladder!
human?
Fire shutter! Sprinkler! Huh?
What?
Huh? What's going on here? A prison on the roof! A rainstorm putting out the fire! Stupid? She keeps yelling like that, the woman will hear us. She's trying to turn me over. She's trying to turn me over to her? Sleeping gas! Filling the whole building!
What?
Police mobile unit team, roll out! Fire trucks with hoses, 5! No, 10! Wait! I grabbed Kazuki by the shoulders and tried to make her stop, but she knocked my hands away. Even in the darkness, I could see tears in her eyes. Be quiet. The second she said those words, I felt a pressure in my chest, like a cold hand gripping my heart. For some reason, I felt like I was being forced to fall silent. I wanted to speak, but it felt like I had to stay quiet. I vaguely dreaded that if I said something, I'd be erased from the entire world. I staggered away from Kazuki, unable to find the words to say anything. Was this why she told me to hide? AK-47! M60! RPG! Claymore! What was she yelling anyway? I didn't understand at all. Tank!
Wow.
UAV! Attack helicopter! Grenade! Sniper rifle! Then she suddenly fell silent. She was thinking about something. I should just forget about relying on her. I should get out of here now. It was safe to assume that Kazuki's shouting had attracted the woman's attention. Ultimate ice weapon!
What?
The power to control gravity! Kazuki started to scream again, oblivious to my fears. I couldn't take it anymore. I looked down over the fence. The crowd was looking up and pointing at Kazuki. I looked over at the other building too, but I couldn't see the woman from my current position. She just dies! God mode Sue! Knight! Wizard! Ninja! I wanted to tell her to run away with me, but as she told me to be quiet, I felt the strange pressure not to speak. Dragon! Giant! Game Master! Just have to leave her.
What's happening?
If the woman was after me, Kazuki was probably safe here. I knew that it was just foolish optimism, but I didn't feel like I had any other choice. I refused to just die here. Sorry, Kazuki. Rare weapon! Portal device! Excalibur! Galebog! Kusunaga Suguri! I turned my back on Kazuki and headed for the door, but the door to the stairs exploded into flames right in front of me. Hot wind scorched my skin. It was too hot for me to even keep my eyes open. The unpleasant smell of smoke stung my nose. I heard a sound. It was the sound of heels that I heard in the classroom a moment ago. Ah! The woman was standing in the fire, her long hair flapping in the wind. I believe you had her.
Was this? Oh, okay. I don't remember what I did. I won't let you get away. I won't let you get away. I won't let you get away.
She was mumbling something to herself. I'd run right into her. There was no place to hide. The staircase was the only way down, and she'd just blown it up. This was it. I was dead. Death to magic! Healing magic! Kazuki started screaming again. She was just screaming meaningless words down to the crowd below with her back turned to us. Now was not the time for this. I couldn't move at all. Oh, she's still screaming in the background.
Still shouting.
And for some reason, the woman wasn't moving either. She was just standing there mumbling to herself. The one hero that never locked out since launch. The addict who's maxed all the classes. Lightning Fast Nightheart. Oh, that's an interesting one. So Lightning Fast Nightheart and Sister Centipede were mentioned in the first game. They were characters in the first game. I searched my field of vision for my die sword. I'd seen it the last time we were attacked. I couldn't find it. I might be able to, if I find it, I might be able to fight. In fact, Lightning Fast Nightheart was the in-game screen name of the main character from Chaos Head Noah.
Oh, nice. That's funny.
I didn't see any sign of it. I kept chanting, cheat code, account ban. I kept chanting, move, move, move to myself, but nothing started to float up or move on its own. Even if I did have some kind of power, I couldn't use it now. It was worthless. I was helpless. I was defenseless. And then... far too late for it to matter. Far, far too late. But Kazuki finally stopped screaming. Her shoulders slumped helplessly. She was back to her usual silent self. Suddenly, everything was so quiet. I thought I could hear my heartbeat. I was so tense, I thought I might throw up. The stomach acid was working its way up my throat. I forced myself to swallow it back down. It was all too likely that, if I moved even an inch to let it all out, the woman's flames would consume me in an instant. I couldn't move. Was I going to die? Kazuki was probably going to die too. I felt pretty bad about that. Did Arimura make it out okay? Would Serika, Karusu, and Ito be sad without me? I'm sorry. I could hear Kazuki's whisper drowning out in the howl of the wind. Nothing happened.
Yeah, no.
And then the pyrokinetic woman took one staggering step toward me. Flames appeared in her hand. It was over. I bit my lip and clenched my fist, trying to ready myself for the pain that was to come. Of course, nothing would be enough to prepare me for it, but I felt like if I didn't do that, I'd collapse on the ground to the ground from fear. But then I heard an eerie, high-pitched noise from the moonlit sky. It was a maddening, painful noise, like the earth itself was screaming with agony. It was the kind of noise that made people look to the sky in fear. The woman froze. I looked back down from the sky and blinked in confusion at what I saw. No, it wasn't just confusion. The thing that had appeared between me and the woman with no warning at all.
Dang.
The hell was this?
Oh,
It
ultimately.
looked something like a globe. It was making a strange, slightly unpleasant sound, like metal scraping against metal. It looked like a piece of modern art. The rings on the outer edge were rotating in a paradigmatic manner, and a fractal hexahedron in the center was glowing softly. It wasn't here a moment ago. It wasn't a part of the roof's decorations.
Hexahedron?
It was impossible to believe it was
Fucking
real.
cube.
because it looked like it was floating. I seriously wondered if I was seeing things, but I wasn't the only one who saw it. Portal device, maybe. Kazuki's words were a whisper. Portal device? What the hell? She knew what it was. Did that mean it was hers? But even she seemed to be shocked by its presence. The woman panted like she was hyperventilating and clicked her heels against the ground. Flames flickered in her hands. The fire exploded outward towards the strange object. The object was wreathed in a column of flame. But it didn't burn or melt from the heat or explode. It simply floated there. Maybe it really was an illusion. The woman looked frustrated. She raised her voice in a wordless scream, then tried to punch it with her other hand, and I could see the pallor on her face change in the light of the flames. She was frozen in shock. It wasn't just her expression. Her whole body seemed to still, as if she had been encased in ice. The roaring flames began to disappear. I could see what looked like a scan lines appear all over her body. I rubbed my eyes, thinking I was hallucinating again.
Aha.
In an instant, the body dissolved into tiny particles.
Oh.
Red blood splattered everywhere. It covered my body. It was so hot. I thought I'd burn.
Fucking brutal.
What the hell? What just happened?
Scene out of The Boys. Like,
Kazuki's route is fucking wild.
yeah.
There was no trace of her body.
What?
There was nothing left of her except a spray of blood on my body and the ground. What Kazuki had called a portal device was still there, making its strange noises. Still
I don't
confused.
think that's what it is.
I tried to touch it.
Don't.
Touch it, maybe.
You
Kazuki grabbed my
fucking
arm
moron.
and stopped me. She still looked sad. It might be a teleporter, maybe. They're in ESO2. ESO2? Teleporter? ESO2 was a game Kazuki played all the time, right? I might have made it real. Maybe. What does she mean, maybe? And wait, what does she mean by make it real?
Well.
It was the same graphical effect as when someone used the portal in ESO2.
What?
Maybe. Graphical effect? What does that mean? What does she mean by graphical effect?
Burst into a red paste?
No, I knew what she meant. That wasn't the issue. I didn't understand what she was saying. It was like listening to words from another dimension. This isn't a video game, you know that, right?
Motherfucker,
Normally people just don't disappear, and there are no graphical effects on people's bodies. This is the real world. This isn't ESO2, and there are no portal devices, so... Kazuki was a little hesitant,
salsa.
And there were tears in her eyes as she spoke. Where did that woman go? The woman had disappeared right in front of me. It was like she'd been dissolved in tiny little pieces, whose blood was on my clothes and on the ground. I may have done something terrible. Maybe.
I think so.
Her words were vague, but she covered her face with her hands and fell to the ground crying. Next to her,
a mop and bucket.
Next to her, I vomited from the smell of blood. That woman was dead. I didn't know why exactly, but I felt sure of it. I felt
You're covered in her.
I felt no relief at having survived. I'd long since given up trying to take in everything that was going on around me. Shortly afterwards, Kazuki and I had fled the school. I couldn't walk through Shibuya in blood-covered clothes, and I wanted to stay out of sight.
It will get you arrested. We've confirmed that. Yes.
As I wondered what to do, Kazuki pulled me by the hand. Right place. Maybe. Kazuki.
Oh, we'll see.
Why her Japanese was so weird. Where was her house? What if her family found me? I didn't have the energy left to ask. Kazuki looked exhausted and frightened. I was sure I did too. I didn't realize how nice the Hekio student dorms were. It was nothing like Aoba dorm. The room did smell a little like squid. The student dorms were about a 5-minute walk from the school. Kazuki said she lived here alone. Dorm rooms were like suites at an extended stay hotel. All rooms were private.
Oh my god, she's got a lollipop tree.
Uh-huh. all rooms were private. There were no dorm mother to make the meals or do anything else. This might be the best place to stay out of sight, huh? I didn't have the energy to go back to the RV. And I didn't want to see anyone right now. Instead of changing or sitting on the bed, Kazuki went to a corner of the room and crouched down. I sat on the floor, a distance away from her. I brought my knees up and buried my head in them.
Standard panic attack.
Suddenly, I was starting to shiver. When I closed my eyes, I could see the flames and the look on the woman's face in the last second of her life. How wonderful would it be that if all of that, from the pyrokinetic woman to the attack, even Kazuki talking, just a dream. I clutched myself tighter, trying to stop myself from shaking. Kazuki started to cry. I remembered reading in Cool Cat Press about how to seduce girls when they were feeling down, but I didn't feel like trying that out right now. I couldn't come up with anything else to say to make her feel better either. I didn't have good enough social skills, and I didn't feel up to it anyway. So all I could do was pretend I didn't hear her. But even after 30 minutes, I could still hear her crying. Then, for some reason, she slowly stood up and headed for the door. Kazuki, where are you going? Huh? Doesn't tell me anything. Stop, baby. Please. Because maybe I killed her. Wait, calm down. I quickly ran over to her and grabbed her by the shoulders.
You 100% killed her, yeah. But
Kazuki lost her balance and fell into my arms. Fell backward too, and was unlucky enough to knock my back up against the low table. I writhed in pain for a minute, unable to breathe.
$1 million baby yourself.
As I waited for the pain to subside, Kazuki slowly got off me and sat down next to me. I didn't use them. This might happen. Not your fault. That's all I could say.
I mean, it kind of is.
I didn't want to think about whose fault it might be then. It wasn't my fault either. That woman was the one who attacked me. I tried to tell myself this. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. Kazuki put her hand on top of mine. Hi. Hold my hand, I think. Tiny and soft, and I was so happy to feel its warmth. I held her hand tightly, like it was the most natural thing in the world. Kazuki lowered her head and started to cry again. Both she and I were in a state of agitation right now. We needed to take some time to calm down. That felt like the best thing to do. Stay like that for a while, holding each other's hands. Then we both fell asleep. I didn't dream. When I woke up, it was bright outside. Total warmth in my hand. Kazuki was still holding my hand like she had been when I fell asleep. Kazuki, get up. She must not have been fully awake yet because she didn't let go. Get up. She did a double take. She rubbed her eyes a few times, gawking at her hand and mine, and looked at my face and back at her hand again. This is... Her face was bright red and she was looking downward, but she didn't let go. Can you please not react that way? I'm not used to this stuff either, you know? There's nothing in Cool Cat Press about how to deal with this situation. Crap, I'm starting
Gasp!
to if Kazuki noticed, she might think
held hands with your girl all night.
Anyway, would you let go? I can't go to the bathroom like this. Bathroom? Finally, my hand was free. My body ached all over because I slept in such a weird position. And my skin stung a little. I remembered the sensation from when I'd gone swimming as a little kid and got sunburned. I closed my eyes and I could still see the red flame. It gave me goosebumps. I quickly shook the image out of my mind. After I used the restroom, I got Kazuki's permission to turn on the TV. It was about 9 a.m. We were late for school, but I didn't feel like going anyway.
Yeah, we did. Fucking, it was 10 yesterday.
That was a different timeline.
Okay.
I decided I would skip class for today.
Different school schedule, I guess, as well.
There's a news program on, just like that, just like I thought. It was talking about what happened last night. Most of the video was of the burning cars around the front gate, though.
We have an unconfirmed report that a suspicious woman entered the school as well. There are also reports that neighbors heard what sounded like several explosions inside the school grounds. There were also bloodstains and a mysterious object found on the roof. The police are investigating the possibility of a terrorist attack.
Mystery object must be what Kazuki called a portal device. Thing's still there?
How many other people have been vaporized?
Will the police be okay? They touched it. Will they disappear like that woman?
They were liquefied.
I took another look at my uniform. It's been too dark last night for me to see, but it was covered in blood. The blood had been soaked through my undershirt. It made me feel sick just thinking about whose blood it was.
God.
I wanted to change.
You slept in that.
Of course.
Oh.
There was no men's clothes in Kazuki's room. Maybe I should borrow her PC later and order some. How much do the police know anyway? Do they know who that suspicious woman was or what she was after?
Do you think you're gonna get, I guess, like today? Like somebody go pick it up right now? I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's likely.
Police do find out and come to question me, they'll inevitably learn what happened after that. No, we don't know for sure that she's dead yet.
You don't know for sure?
Maybe she was dead. That was self-defense. They wouldn't prosecute me. Right, of course they wouldn't. At least, that's what I tried to tell myself.
You liquefied her in self-defense, yeah.
When I remember,
no jury's gonna see that go a different way.
When I remember what happened yesterday, it felt like my legs were going to start shaking again. I was worried about Arimura, but I didn't know how to get in touch with her. I decided to go to the public phone in the dorm lobby and call Sarika, see if she knew anything. She told me that she and Karusu were hiding Arimura in my RV, that they happened to run into her last night after we'd been attacked by that woman. I was about to complain about them letting her use my RV, but changed my mind. What was important was that Arimura was safe. Sarika and Karusu were both very worried about me. All Arimura had told them was that I'd been attacked by a woman who could control fire. But I was as vague as possible. There was no way I could tell them what actually happened yesterday. I hung up quickly without telling her where I was. Then I went back to the room.
Kazuki totally killed someone.
They say that school's closed today. That's what Karusu had told me on the phone. The police were probably investigating. Kazuki, can I ask you something?
On account of the nebulized murderer stain leaking through the roof.
What exactly did you do yesterday? Kazuki didn't answer. Is it something you can't tell me? You have some kind of special power too, don't you? Still didn't say a word. She'd done so much talking last night, but now she was back to her usual self. Come on, it's not like you can't talk, right? And it seems like you know what's up, too. Kazuki shook her head. It might not be good, maybe. Not good? What isn't good? It might not be good if I talk, maybe. What does that mean? Probably has something to do with the way she suddenly started yelling last night. There might be someone who knows the answers you want, maybe. Someone who knows the answers I want? Where? Kazuki then pointed to the low table in the center of the room. There was a small laptop on top of it.
Internet.
So she's talking to the main character from the first game now.
Yeah.
Kazuki Hinae is a gigglomaniac, and a special one at that. The critical point to remember is sound. In other words, her voice. She can spread the information and energy of a delusion with her voice. You want a nice term to classify it? How about contagious hyper deserialization? What makes it difficult is that she lacks the power to control it. She doesn't have any other powers. Power is useless. Shit tier. Sucks to be her. The person she was talking about was typing.
I told you, the main character of the first game is a fucking asshole. He fucking sucks, dude.
The worst.
The person she was talking to...
It's not useless, by the way. Clearly.
Right.
The person he was talking to was typing in the chat window on her screen. I was shocked to see the handle Nightheart on the screen. Wait, is that Nightheart? Lightning fast Nightheart? The guy responsible for the Esper panic that happened just before the earthquake 6 years ago? The one people said might have been deeply involved with the earthquake itself?
Dun dun dun.
There was so much I wanted to ask him. I could write a whole article just on him. Was Neidhart a gigolomaniac too? In fact, he was.
Nice.
Kazuki typed, typing expressionlessly away at the keyboard. Neidhart, don't get jealous. What? Why would I be jealous? You were a god in ESO, but you're trash noob in ESO 2, right? Your level is lower than mine. That's because I moved to ES2 after the beta test. A noob like you probably doesn't know this, but all the top ESO 1 players hate ESO 2. Oh, sorry. I mean, seriously, no character transfers? Of course we had a big protest. I put it together. I was surprised by how many top-ranked players showed up. Two of the leaders from the top guild on the server. The guy who was famous for never logging out even once since the game started. The super popular chick with over 200 people in her friends list.
That's not good.
The one who quit his job to cap every class. It was them, and a hell of a lot of others. Over 30 of the best players were there.
Dozens of us.
Even the lunatic who took out the Empire Dragon King solo. The Emperor, the 4 kings, the 10 heroes, and the 3 gods, and a whole bunch of other promised us they'd help. We were all ready to protest on the server for days. Not one of us had anything going on in the real world. I moved to ESO 2 only after that war. Learn your history before you open your mouth, fool. So basically, I've been playing for longer than you, which makes me the boss. Go buy me a yakisoba sandwich. Wow, LOL. You summed all that up in a single line. And you,
yes.
Hanakatsuo, would you dare boss me, the god of ESO around? I will dox your ass.
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Zero shit taken.
I will dox your ass any day of the week. Do you type in those emojis by hand every time? Huh. She showed me that she had been registered as shortcuts on the keyboard, but that wasn't important right now. Supposedly,
that's not important right now.
Supposedly, Kazuki and Neidhart knew each other online from being in the same ESO 2 guild. Then you've been talking to him about your power? Huh. Kazuki nodded. Lightning fast Neidhart, the legend himself. So the rumors were true after all. I was so excited. I was getting goosebumps over my body. A lot of people said he was a fake after the Esper incident, but it turned out they were wrong after all. I realized a year after the earthquake that I had a special power, maybe. Not that it did anything good for me. A year after the earthquake? That would have been about 5 years ago. So she knew about it this whole time? I wanted to ask why she didn't help me when I was trying to learn to use my telekinesis, but I stopped myself. It probably had something to do with the reason why she never talked. She had the power to put information and energy from her delusions into her voice. Neidhart had given it the long, and if you ask me, nonsensical name of contagious hyper-desi-realization.
Desire realization?
I don't...
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that's what they're trying to combine.
Is your power more or less what Neidhart said it was? Huh. Kazuki nodded. At first, I thought a lot of weird things were happening around me, maybe. Like a friend had a cute pen, and I said I wanted it. And the next day, the pen was mine.
It just was.
We had this really ugly black and white cat at home that I loved. One day, I whispered to myself that he looked better as a tabby.
Oh,
and
God.
then he really turned into one.
Oh my God. I would cause so many problems in the world.
That was... I told you, it gets wild. There was a lot of that when I was in elementary school, about 5 years ago.
Jesus.
What you said become real?
Elementary school me? Oh my God.
That wasn't all, maybe. That wasn't all?
We wouldn't have survived.
Say something. I don't know what will become real and what won't, maybe. Neidhart said she couldn't control it. So that's why when she was shouting all those, words on the roof. She probably thought at least one of them would work. What did he mean when he said it was contagious? When I was in middle school, I had a good friend. We were always together. It was so much fun to be with her. We were like sisters. But because of my power... Her expression clouded over. I thought she stopped talking, but I was wrong. It all started with a simple word, maybe. Simple word in a normal conversation. But that word spread to a lot of different people. And without me even realizing it, it stopped being my word. It turned into a whole different meaning altogether, maybe. By the time I'd forgotten I'd ever said it, it became real. And because of it, her family was torn apart.
Huh.
Her dad committed suicide.
Shit.
Her mom started using drugs. Her sister was kidnapped by strange men and went missing. She went crazy. And then I figured out that maybe it was because of my word. No, not maybe. It was. Wish I could just get rid of this power. But since I couldn't, I thought that if I never said another word, I wouldn't be able to hurt anyone else. You're the first person I talked to since I came to Hekio, Senpai. That's why she doesn't talk. If she talks, her powers might activate. And if what Nightheart said is
It's
true...
like the Inhumans guy.
Uh-huh. You really can't control it. There's no way to prove whether or not what had happened in her to her in middle school was really because of her power. But even so, she's been able to control it. She'd probably ask herself that question 1,000,000 times.
Ooh.
Maybe remaining silent was her way of punishing herself. I asked Kazuki's permission to type a question in Nightheart. May I ask a question? Why can't Kazuki control her power? No. Uchi. Member of her club at school. Oh, Miyashiro. Huh? How do you know my name?
He
Kazuki
talks
told
a
me about
lot.
you yesterday. Ah! Her face went red and she frantically shook her head. I talked to him. He'd gotten the word power recently, maybe. And I thought maybe it might not be a good idea. It might not be a good idea to use it too much when other people were around. But I didn't call you a moron. Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe.
He said there was some moron in our club that had psychic powers but didn't know how to use them. LOL. Why is it that Kazuki can't control her powers? This is just what I gleaned from talking to her, but... Oh, what I'm about to tell you is top secret stuff. Don't go around repeating it. You know how
He
you
said
need a shared
in
idea
the guild chat.
to a real bit of delusion, right? In my case, I use a target that showed a delusion and then plug the delusion directly into their mind. Sometimes that delusion involved sex. Other times it also involved sex. On other occasions, there were also sex. You can skip the jokes. I was being serious. What's important? I told you, he's a fucking dick. What's
The
important
worst.
is that you're plugging that delusion directly into the target's brain. That's what creates a clear mental image that can be shared. This clear image is what's needed for a successful real boot. But Kazuki can't do that. All Kazuki can do is spread the information energy from her delusions via sound. Sound contains no visual information, which means the mental image itself becomes vague. It's a lot less reliable than implanting an image directly. Just like it's hard to visualize an image just based off of the description, right? Of course, an otaku like me can do that easy, as long as it has something to do with sex. But Kazuki's power has one other trait that makes it unique. Anyone who hears that voice is able to echo it. That's why it's called contagious. It's just like a rumor. It grows and changes as it spreads, just like a game of telephone. Imagine a guy giving a speech in front of a station. That's her, spreading her delusions to random groups of people. Now imagine someone passing by hears that delusion, takes it to school and tells it to a friend of theirs. Then let's say that person repeats it to someone else.
Ugh.
The content of the speech echoes and expands. In the same way, Kazuki's sound can spread over when she's not there. That's what makes her different from a typical gigglomaniac. But even if it echoes, it's extremely rare for it to real boot. Like I said, delusions spread by sounds are very vague. And if the details are different, there's no shared image to be real booted. But once in a while, there's an extremely low possibility that several people would imagine the exact same image when they hear a given word. When that happens, Kazuki's delusions is real booted, whether she wants it to be or not. Kazuki speaks. She has no way of knowing if there's an astronomically low chance two people somewhere will share the same mental image. It's all coincidence. That's a lot of information to take in. I tried as hard as I could to understand everything that Nightheart was saying. A rumor can, under certain circumstances, turn into a form of demagoguery capable of altering an entire society. So Kazuki's power might be the same as that. That would explain why it isn't safe for her to talk. It must be such a terrifying possibility to her.
It would be wild.
So what about that ES2 portal device? It was real booted last night when Kazuki spoke. Oh, so that's the new story, was you guys.
Yeah.
Why a portal device?
Everybody's seen
I just
it.
told you she can't control her powers, right? Someone who heard her just happened to know about ESO2's portal devices, and it just happened to be real booted. That's all. Coincidence. Of course, you could also say it's a coincidence that the other things she said weren't real booted. The second the woman who was attacking us touched the portal, the second the woman who attacked us touching the portal, she disappeared. Where do you think she went? Oh, you know.
Paste.
She's probably dead, right?
Like, dude.
He typed out those callous words like he really didn't care at all, because he doesn't. Even though it's something that neither Kazuki nor I wanted to accept. The portal device was the only one that got rebooted, right?
Ooh.
I ran a net search and didn't see any other devices. In ESO 2, if you touch a portal device, you get warped to another one. But if there's only one device, there's nowhere for her to warp to, right? She was probably transported to a dimensional rift or dissolved at the subatomic level. Of course, even if there were 2 portal devices, I don't think you'd actually be able to teleport between them. Basically, it only recreated its appearance.
Well, it did.
Even more
fucking
cold
vaporize,
words
liquefier.
Even more cold words appeared on the LCD monitor. Kazuki and I both stared at him. He was dead. The woman really was dead. Hearing it from an objective third party made me want to throw up.
You probably had to clean her out of your ears, dude. Yeah,
sorry.
She's not around.
I gotta log off. Gotta go to Nippon Bashi and get me some Yuma Nohara Mimi figure. Nippon Bashi, are you in Osaka? Sure, why not? Why so vague? I'm actually super busy these days, running all around the world. I haven't been able to make it to Akihabara in a while, actually. Sucks. So today I'm having an otaku merchandise hunting party. Furthermore, I will be the only one participating. Last night I got so excited I only got 2 hours of sleep. Actually, did you hear about the last episode of Gun Pharaoh being canceled? I know there's something going on with that, like the staff got into a fight or something. My otaku senses are tingling. The Mimi figures are going to be in high demand real soon now. That's why I'm going to get them while I can. I can make a fortune reselling them. Anyway, you kids have fun, lol. Is this really the kind of person that Nightheart is? Yes. I'm a little disappointed, maybe.
Maybe.
only see him in ESO 2, maybe. So it might be a little hard to get a hold of him, maybe. He's usually there when I log in, though. Weekday, but he said he was going to Nippon Bashi. He also said he was traveling around the whole world. Both of those statements seem like lies.
Yeah.
Just who is he, really? Someone who never leaves the house. I didn't
get an otaku.
I didn't get a chance to ask him about what happened 6 years ago either. But there's no point in thinking about Nightheart now. What should we do? Go to the police? Pretend we don't know anything. Should we pretend we weren't even at school last night? Did I tell Serika and Karusu? And again, rumors weren't something anyone could control. The more people that knew a secret, the more likely it is to leak. Let's keep what happened last night a secret between you and me. Kazuki froze and looked at me pleadingly. We'll just keep an eye on things for a while. Still don't know why that woman attacked us. Didn't seem to have anything to do with Return of New Gen Madness, though. The way she attacked was too different from the other murders. The most likely possibility is that she was a psychopath. That's only a theory. Maybe someone else is controlling her. Best to be careful. I should avoid attracting any unnecessary attention to myself. Maybe I should shut down a newspaper club for a while, too. Sakura-senpai. Sorry. For some reason, she apologized. Even though it wasn't her fault. If anything, it was my fault for getting her involved. Maybe you understand now. But you shouldn't talk to me anymore. Maybe. My voice makes bad things happen. Wish I never had it. Look down, wearing a melancholy expression. Her power really is making her suffer. As an older student from her club, I should probably say something to her. She did use her power to save me, after all, even though she hates it. Hey, Kazuki. Thanks for saving me last night. I'm really grateful. You might hate your power, maybe, but thanks to that power, I'm still alive. And well, you know, I don't think your voice is that bad. Cute, really. I'm not just... Hey, why you got game now, dude?
Yep.
It's cute, really. I'm not just saying that. So don't get so depressed about your power. Wow. That was pretty embarrassing to say. I could feel the sweat beating on my forehead.
Oh, wait. No, he doesn't. He does not have a game.
But Kazuki didn't respond at all. He was looking down at her cell phone. I looked closer and saw there was a cord coming from it to her ears. She's not even paying attention to you. When did you put your headphones on? You didn't hear anything of what I just said? What the hell?
Dude, they're like cans, too. It's not even fucking little-ass earbuds. That's very
Whatever.
funny.
I'm going back to sleep then. And that's where we're going to stop for tonight.
That's a good one. Very funny.
So, yeah. So the Arimura chapter is now officially closed. Your thoughts on the ending of Arimura's chapter, the first of the side routes?
It was an interesting diversion there. I'm not 100% sure what all the fuck actually went on there. I don't like, it doesn't feel like it was super like ironclad clear what the hell happened. So I imagine that we'll get a better picture once we've gotten to like the true ending or something.
Yeah. Well,
how that factors in with everything else, but it definitely seemed like a very like, it was a cool twist. I liked that ending. Like, oh, she's actually clutching his like rotting core. Oh man, oh damn.
Well,
like, cool.
That part
all
there,
cutesy and then quietly darker than all the rest, was very on theme for the rest of the Arimura like ending. I guess.
So yeah, that definitely the fucking Twilight Zone twist at the end there was I really liked.
Right.
Some other things to point out that I picked up when I saw it the first time. One was, at least according to the ending, Takaru was dead, but he was still obviously conscious and cognizant of what was going on around him.
Right.
And the other was apparently that even though it was a possibility, but it was never confirmed until that very last line from Serica. But the Serica throughout that entire arc was still the Serica that we knew from the ending of the Common Route.
Like, there's a consistent Serica who's behind it all, that like knows what's going on and is, aware. But yeah, something else is happening there, I think, clearly. But it's not clear what. I still think that, I was saying something about it, but like, it's like Serica's the real person and Takaru's the delusion, or something like that. I feel, like there's some kind of reveal along those lines. I think I said I am the cheese was the other one that I referenced last time. And I think that that kind of twist ending could be on brand as well. I don't know. I am very curious to see like what the true ending has in store. Since you said that these are all supposed to like lay in together somehow, I'm like, okay, shit. Like, these are mutually exclusive ends. So like they don't seem to want to let each other all fit together. So I am excited to see how that gets resolved, I guess. Yeah.
Well, we're slowly marching that way. And then so when we come back on Thursday, we will see I don't remember how long Kazuki's chapter is, but I can kind of we may or may not get to the end of it on Thursday, but either way, it's gonna be a fucking romp because I don't want to. Great. Anyway, that's gonna do it for us tonight. We have at least we discovered we also discovered Kazuki's power, why she doesn't talk.
Right.
So that's very interesting. And
figured that.
If she had control over that, she would probably be a very powerful person.
Yeah, exactly. I think you could find a way to work that out. Like, you just have to use things that are like in the zeitgeist. You'd have to reference common shit like Michael Jordan or whatever, like stuff that everybody's going to think of the same thing when you say it.
So that leads me back to,
then you could start to get there, I think.
So we had at the very end of that there, they talked to Lightning Fast Nightheart, who was the protagonist of the first game. And he was a true gigolomaniac. And basically,
like Taku.
Yeah, basically, gigolomaniacs are they're gods. They're just gods on the earth that can do whatever they want. The only saving grace, apparently, that some people have figured out with gigolomaniacs is they only get their power because there's something fucked up with their heads. And if you can exploit that, then you can control a gigolomaniac. So I think that's a very interesting premise. It's like fantastic cosmic powers and stuck inside a mind that can't figure out what's reality. Fucking great.
Enormous mental baggage, emotional baggage.
Right. Oh, but anyway, that's gonna do it for us tonight. If you've enjoyed this and following along, I want to see this through to the end. You can catch us every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, where we stream this and other games. But we've been streaming this for a while. We're getting close to the end of it. If you want to get notified when we go live, you can subscribe to the channel, YouTube or Twitch, or join the Discord. There's a link somewhere down there for that. And we get, when we go live, it gets posted there too. We have a Patreon if you want to throw $1 or $2 our way. Just being here is more than enough, but if you're feeling overly generous, helps. And with that, we'll see you back here Thursday night.
Bye-bye.